everyone to Jimmy John's Field here in downtown Utica, Michigan. So glad you could tune in as the home Utica Unicorns here today take on the visiting Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. A lot going on here at the ballpark. The regular Thursday. Thursdays presented always by Dave & Buster's. Also have Hispanic Heritage Nights and our overall sponsors, Ideal Group and Smart Flex, here today. We thank them for their partnership here with the USPBL as well. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call. So glad he could tune on in what is a sweltering day once again here in Metro Detroit, the second in a row.
Yeah, we've had 2 very hot days, 3 85-plus days in a row now here in Michigan. It's been fun, but luckily today, as you can tell, the wind is doing its best to cool us down a little bit. See if that has any effect on the baseball today.
A couple non-publics over the last 2 days. That's kind of what they're trying to do, 1 to 2 per week. Get these guys some more extra at-bats and the pitchers some extra innings of work as well. And the thing that those non-publics were able to do for everybody involved with the USPBL was get some of these newer guys some reps. We'll talk about some newer guys in specifics a little bit later, and there's quite a few across these two teams. The Unicorns have remained the same for the most part, but a lot of new additions for all 3 of the teams, kind of giving some fresh faces to the league. Before we talk about that, though, let's talk about the pitchers for today's game. 2 guys that have been around pretty much the whole way. Eric Sandness making another start here today, and Jake Fiorito for the Unicorns.
Yeah, we'll start with Eric Sandness. He's got an ERA of 5.54 right now through 13 innings. Does have 8 strikeouts. Looked really good 2 starts ago. I think he went 4 or 5 innings, had a bunch of Ks, 4 or 5 in that. Really had a really tough time. It was against the Hoppers. They had a really tough time hitting him. Got a little banged up in his second start. I think was a little bit fatigued. Was looking a little bit slower on the mound. He seemed energized. I spoke to him a couple minutes ago when I first got here. Seemed energized, seemed ready to go, seems excited for tonight. Hopefully we can see a good day from him. He's not a guy who's going to be super high velocity. He's hoping to touch 90, 91 with the fastball, but he locates really well. He mixes his pitches nicely. Should be a good day for him, hopefully. And then Fiorito, a little bit of the opposite. He's going to throw that 90, 91, 92, maybe even touch 93 with that 4-seam fastball. He's got a 2.25 ERA right now, and 8 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. He's looked good so far. Hasn't had that many starts. He's appeared in 4 games. This is only his second start. So we'll see how he does in that starter role. He's more typically a reliever, maybe a setup kind of guy. So we'll see if the Unicorns can do well with him at the starting position today. So should see how it goes.
Without further ado, let's take a look at the rest of your starting lineups here today as well. Starting with the visiting Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, it's Tyler Fraley who will lead things off and play center. Field Cam Collette bats second and plays third. Eric Whitfield will hit in the 3-hole in DH today. J.D. Stubbs, one of the many newcomers for this Beavers team, a lefty, will play first base as well. Ryan Sullivan bats fifth and plays right. Chris Davis, another newcomer, will bat sixth and play left. Luke Fennelly in the 7-hole. He'll play shortstop. Miles Watson bats eighth and catches here today with Marcus Page rounding things out at second base facing Jake Fiorito. As for the home Utica Unicorns, it's Drew Galassi who will lead things off and play center. Malik Bolin bats second and plays first. Noah Childress will bat in the 3-hole in DH here today. Ari Sikopoulos will hit fourth and play left. Leandy Castro bats fifth and plays right. Kevin Lambert back in the 6-hole today as he plays third. Matt Parkinson behind the dish for Jim Essian's team. He'll bat seventh with Louis Attilis trying to turn it around. 1 for 21 start for Louis thus far. He'll bat eighth and play short with John Hodo, who had a big day the other day, rounding things out and playing second base with Eric Sandness, their opponent on the other end. Well, we talked about the showcase and kind of what that means for guys. There were 17 overall guys that will come in, which means quite a few cuts. And I think when you look at it just across the board, the velocity is up in the league and just the overall competitiveness is, even higher than we were before as well.
Yeah, we've had conversations about it that this is professional baseball, and when you get to this level, this is a developmental league, and we want to make players better, and the ultimate goal is for these players to get good enough and go play at higher levels, particularly in major league organizations. But to do that, you have to be able to perform, and sometimes push comes to shove, and you're the one that gets pushed, and new guys come in, and we are going to see a lot of new faces, a few today, and it should be exciting. Looking at the early research and the numbers on a lot of these college guys, some things are really interesting. They look really good. We've got an NAIA national champion. We've got All-Americans in Division II. We've got guys who really don't have a lot of accolades, but they're here for a reason. So it should be interesting to see how these guys play out, and the fact, too, that we're getting to that point. We talked about we get to 30 at-bats. Then we'll start throwing out average, OPS, slugging, all that stuff. Some of the guys in the league right now are there, the guys that have been here since day one. All of these teams are around 8 or 9 games. Some of these guys are reaching that 30 at-bat threshold. Well, here come these new guys. They're still trying to catch up there. They're still trying to get those pro reps. Some of these guys are going to have their first professional hits or strikeouts today. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for the new guys, though.
Well, as well, there's a few guys on injured reserves, one for the Beavers and Ford. When he comes off, that's a spot that will not be, kept in terms of another roster spot, so there will have to be a cut or a move around or something to happen to make room for him. And there's a few guys in the Mammoths in that category as well, a couple pitchers, which we'll talk about a little bit later when they're a little bit closer to returning. But as for the guys for the Beavers, we talked about and listed off all those unfamiliar names probably to you at home, unless you're one of their loved ones watching here today in their debut on the USPBL network. Vaughn Joshua talked to you about wanting lefty bats, and boy, did he get lefty bats.
Well, other than the new pitcher that they got, everybody they got is a lefty bat. So, yeah, he definitely got what he wanted. That's a big thing for Vaughn. We know what he's done. He played in the majors for 10 years. He was a hitting coach at multiple major league organizations. He's a big guy who focuses on hitting and old-fashioned hitting, the older kind of style, line drives, put the ball in play. We're not swinging for launch angle. We're not trying for exit velocity to hit home runs. Home runs are nice. You're going to run into a few, but hit the opposite direction, play the field, keep the ball in play. I'm willing to bet, we haven't talked to him and haven't seen these guys yet, I'm willing to bet Vaughn got some of those guys already, especially in those lefty bats. He really likes the ability to have the lefties in there to change up the look. You have to be able to hit in this league. Look at the Unicorns. They've hit the last 3 years, and they've won the last 3 years. They're hitting this year. They've got the best lineup, and they're 6-1. So it's worked out. Vaughn has kind of seen the model of how you want to set up your lineup, and I think he realizes that starts with lefties, and he got some good ones from what it looks like at the college numbers.
And for the most part, the Unicorns have been a team their roster has been evolving really since opening weekend. They had some guys they really wanted to bring in that were still playing at the college level, but for the most part untouched for them coming into today.
Yeah, 2 new pitchers, 1 new position player, not a whole lot to change, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've lost 1 game. It was in a non-public. Fans weren't here. They don't even know if that's true or not. Maybe they didn't lose, but they did in fact lose only 1 game, but 6-1, or 8-1, excuse me, far ahead of the league right now. The lineup, top to bottom, is really fantastic. Malik Bolin gets a day off on Saturday against this Beavers team, and the non-public on Tuesday. It's a home run, 2 RBIs. He's on track. Ari Sakopoulos, he's got 3 home runs this year. Matt Parkinson, a great defensive catcher. He's hitting above 300 to start this season. 1 through 9, there's no bad hitters. There's no guys that you say, hey, this guy really needs to work on improving this area of his at-bats, improving the swing and miss, improving the exit velocity. 1 through 9, everybody does something really well and nothing poorly. And why would you want to change that?
Well, the Beavers trying to snap their losing streak against the Unicorns here today. Can they do it? We'll find out when we get back on the USPBL network. Stick with us.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to Hispanic Heritage Night at the ballpark. They just left, but it was cool to see kind of all the Hispanic flags stacked up on the first and third base lines. There's been some representation of music on the soundstage in right center field, and we'll continue to see that throughout the night as well. The first ever, in this fashion at least, here at Jimmy John's Field here this year. The broadcast is presented by the following sponsors here today: Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Valpak, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league. We've already talked about the pitching brought to you by Ascension so far in this game, but kind of diving in a little deeper with all the changes we have seen. There's not only changes to these two lineups here today. We talked about how heavy the changes are for the Beavers in terms of new arms. But this Hoppers pitching staff is going to be very intriguing. Number one, because now Carson Ferry is the shortest guy in the starting rotation and or in that kind of mix at 6'3". But he's 6'3".
Right. I mean, and that's a good thing, I guess, for the Hoppers, is because stereotypically the taller the pitcher, the harder they can throw, the more downhill, the more arm action they can kind of have. But, I mean, they've got Jacob Wazinski, who's 6'8", Andrew Verbrugge, who stands at 6'4". They've added new guys who are 6'5" and up, and they've already got one of the best pitching staffs in the league, and it's hard to argue. I kind of think they just got better.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch, certainly, and one of the new arms through yesterday. We'll get to those a little bit more as this week unfolds, but there's a lot of exciting arms that have come in. The velocities, I think, will be better, and there's even a knuckleballer that will be in the mix for the Unicorns. Not sure we'll see him today because he pitched the other day, but it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for him to come out. The reports for that non-public game that neither you or I were able to make it to were that there were a couple hit batters and there were a couple swing and misses too. So it's 6-1 half dozen the other. But I would love to spice up this league with a knuckleball pitcher. That'd be fun.
Talked to Harrison Aiken about that. He's actually more of a converted guy. He was a catcher and then switched to a pitcher in college. Didn't see a lot of reps on the mound, but obviously looking to see a lot here and just see what he does. But kind of his approach to throwing the knuckleball, he looks at either the umpire or the catcher and tries to pinpoint either the top of either their helmet or the center of the chest protector and just sees where it dances, or it gets hit and relies on that defense as well.
That's pretty much how it's going to go. The catcher, the pitcher, the ump, the batter, everybody knows if he's going to throw that knuckleball, we're just going to have to wait and find out. And as a hitter, you got to be ready to hit or pray that it just misses the zone somehow. At the end of the day, that's what Aiken is doing out there as a pitcher. He's praying it finds its way into the zone or for a swing and a miss, and that's all that's really going to go with it. But that's kind of what happens is, he was a catcher, and his coach found out he threw a knuckleball, or he knew how to, and he showed him, and he said, hey, you're gonna pitch now. And sometimes that's just the way the sports world goes. We've heard converted athletes, who were playing basketball, and the football coach found out that this dude could run a 4.3 40, and he said, you're going to come and play football, and they turned into a Hall of Fame running back. So, no surprise there, and it looks like it worked out for Aiken. He's a pro.
Time for a keys to today's game. Obviously, this is not the first game for either of these two teams this week, but what do you think?
Well, I think for the Beavers, they have to get off the schneid, especially against this Unicorns team. That's 3 losses in a row to this Unicorns team. This is the first game we'll really see the new guys, the new lefty bats, be involved. Hopefully all of these guys get 3, maybe 4 at-bats, 5 if they really start racking up the runs. But it's about simplicity for Vaughn Joshua. We talked to him kind of extensively before today's game. I talked to him extensively on Saturday before that game, and he wants everything to be simple. Baseball is a simple game, and we talked to Dakota McFadden, who got traded to this Beavers team. He's likely not going to play today, but from the Mammoths, a big power hitter, really smart guy, and the thing Vaughn Joshua was telling him was, hit the ball where it's pitched. So if it's outside, let it travel, get deep, go the opposite way. If it's inside, get in front of it and pull that ball. And kind of just go off what the pitcher is going to give you. If they're going to give you a first pitch fastball at 90 down the middle, be ready to hit it and put it in play. If there's a runner on third, hit it to the right side in the ground or on the ground or in a line and bring that run home from third. So for the Beavers, it's really about simplicity. We're not worrying about exit velocity. We're not worrying about launch angle. Hit gappers, hit singles, hit doubles, bring runs around that way. And for the Unicorns, they're kind of the opposite. If they're going to win a game, it's usually because they hit power. They had 2 home runs in the non-public on Tuesday. Those totaled 4 RBIs of their 9 that they had in that game that they won 9-1. So for them, they've got power up and down the lineup, really 1 through 6, pushing 7. At any time, you kind of feel like could hit a home run. And we've seen all those guys hit home runs this year. So if they can get power, they'll be able to win this game.
And we want to encourage you to chime in on both Facebook and YouTube in the chat sections. And while you're there, click the like button on Facebook, click the subscribe button on YouTube as well, and get notifications every time this fine broadcast is live as well on Facebook. April Fraley says happy birthday. Tyler Fraley from Mom and Dad in the stands tonight, all the way from Texas as well. Wendy Coleman says hello, JJ and Paige here today, and no comments yet on YouTube. So pour us in where you're watching, where you're listening. Any questions maybe about some of these new guys or what you know about these new guys too, because we're still learning. We've had 17 fresh faces, competitive faces coming to the league that we're excited to tell you about throughout the broadcast here today and going forward. First pitch coming up shortly here on the USPBL Network. Stick with us.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Elevate your life on the road with a new Lincoln from Crest Lincoln. We're here to provide a purchase and ownership experience that's on your terms. We have new Lincolns arriving every day, or take advantage of ordering your Lincoln exactly how you'd like it, and you'll receive an additional $1,000 benefit towards that purchase or lease. We're celebrating 100 years of elevating the driving experience. Discover the possibilities at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights, or visit us today at crestlincoln.com.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Jeremy out alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here today. 90 degrees in Utica here today at game time, 91 to be exact. Bright, sunny day, but you see the shadows are going to definitely play a factor here early on. That one kind of arching towards the pitcher's mound behind home plate.
Yeah, we've seen the shadows cause some issues before, and they've been a factor. Should be about a 3.5, maybe 4 inning ordeal that hitters are going to have to deal with, picking up that ball as it comes to home plate. But that's a part of baseball. Every ballpark, everywhere you play is going to have shadows, especially when you have these evening games at 7 o'clock.
It's not very often where you think about pulling out the sunglasses for a 7 o'clock start, but I'm thinking about it right now. It's just so bright out here.
We've had the sunny skies, and I mean, I'd rather it be this than overcast. So
true.
We got to be grateful. We're only going to get this for about 3 months out of the year. You know, it is Michigan, so.
Jake Fiorito making his second start here today. 8 innings of work, 2 walks to 7 strikeouts to pair along with a .225 ERA. Two-seam fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a changeup for Jake.
Yeah, the curveball and slider are going to be pretty similar. We see that often in the USPBL. A lot of these guys don't fully have a developed slider yet, so it's pretty similar to a curve. I think Fiorito's another one of those guys. But still, a pitch that if you use it right and if it's tight, and we've seen a lot of pitchers with tight spins on those sliders or curveballs, they can be very effective. And Fiorito has used it well so far through the first few games this year.
Another hefty breeze at 15 miles an hour blowing out to right center field here today, so could just be another hitter's day. We'll see. The breeze probably appreciated, though, with the sun soaking down. Both of these two teams have played earlier this week. The game yesterday between the Mammoths and the Hoppers were the hottest day on record this year. Tyler Fraley, birthday boy, stepping into the box now. Cam Collette, Eric Whitfield will come after him.
Fraley's been pretty good this year to start the season for the Beavers.
Fastball at 87 is by Tyler that time. Third baseman Lambert kind of pinching in. Lambert at first, Bolin at first, Hodo at second, and Attilis at short. 0-1. Slider away, 1-1. Sakopoulos in left, Galassi in center, and Castro is in right. Defensive alignment always brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Another 1-1. Swing and a miss.
There's that changeup we see from Fiorito. That's a nice looking pitch.
That's something that he's been working on, getting more depth with his pitches. 1-2, chopped foul. We've already seen a couple changeups here today, so trying to work on especially his off speed and his breaking balls.
Yeah, it looks like it's not going to be a too fastball heavy day for Fiorito.
Kind of saw the same for Carson Ferry yesterday. 1-2, chopped on the ground. Hodo is over to make the play.
Defensive play by Hodo there on the bounding ball to the glove side from him. Good to see him out there making plays defensively after he was all over the place offensively on Saturday for the Unicorns. 3 RBIs, had a double and a single walk as well. Was big reason they were able to win that game.
Here's Cam Collette now, off to a 10 for 27 start. Stole 3 bases and 3 tries as well. Wipeout breaking ball, the curveball there in the dirt.
Well, that's what we talked about. You don't need a lot of velocity on the curve and slider. If you can have that tight spin and that thing can move, very tough for a hitter to put a bat on.
Now the 0-1. Another one. Why not? Dips in for strike 2. Now it's your best guess if you're Cam Collette.
Yeah, I mean, Fiorito had 0-2. Can really go anywhere here, any pitch, any location.
Change up away. So no fastball this at bat.
It's a pretty good pitch after the curveball. If you're Collette, you kind of might be expecting a change up in there, or excuse me, a fastball in there. 2 off-speed pitches, try to blow by with the velocity.
In the hands and fouled off. One, 2, fastball. Looks like Parkinson tried to pull that back in slightly, but called ball 2.
Yeah, it was a pretty good job. I think I wouldn't have been surprised if that was a called third strike. It was a good frame job by Parkinson. A pretty good pitch by Fiorito, too, up and away right on that corner.
Another one away, 3-2 on Collette now.
It was really an even better job on that last pitch before the ball third pitch. To stay off that high fastball can be an easy one for a hitter to kind of jump on. It's a really easy pitch to drive, especially the opposite way when it's away.
Wind really blowing now, but a swing and a miss. Fastball blew it by him for the second out here in the first.
And there it is, that high fastball that we see. Tries to jump on it. Might have been a little out in front. Velocity threw him off a little bit. Good at bat from Fiorito.
Beavers certainly frustrated with the way their season has started offensively.
That's why we've seen this kind of drastic change in the roster.
First pitch to Whitfield. Curveball swims inside. 1-0.
A lot of lefty bats added, trying to give themselves a little bit more of an advantage with right-handers on the mound, especially this Unicorns team. Only one lefty on this Unicorns pitching staff.
Fastball pumped in for strike 1. First inning brought to you by Ascension. We thank Ascension for their partnership here with the USPBL. Another 1-1. Curveball left up there. Galassi has to get that in the gap with the wind blowing. No chance. Up against the base of the wall. Whitfield, the second base. He's there with a stand-up double.
Really nice job by Eric Whitfield there, jumping on that little hanger of a curveball. And Whitfield is someone that Vaughn Joshua has really liked. He's made some adjustments since he's gotten into the USPBL. He battles hard at the plate. He's taking the advice of his coaches, and that's the big thing that Vaughn Joshua loves to see. Balls hit the opposite way and just hit it where it's pitched, and that one was hung up a little bit up in the zone. You can let it travel, get behind it. Opposite field double.
Here's J.D. Stubbs, one of those newcomers, 1 for 3 start. So Chris Davis and Miles Watson, 2 of the other newer guys out of 4 in the lineup here today, still looking for their first hit, but J.D. probably feels a bit good to get that out of the way. You know, maybe one of the lone advantages, there being nobody in the stands.
Yeah, I think also J.D. Stubbs is going to have no shortage of hits in the USPBL. Really good hitter in college. He was a national champion like we talked about at Georgia Gwinnett 2 years ago.
Just talked to him onto the field. Firm handshake. And very built.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something you can necessarily tell from up here, but down when you're on eye-to-eye with him, that's apparent. Now the 1-1.
Don't be surprised if J.D. Stubbs gets a mistake pitch at some point, I'll say this weekend, and takes it out for his first professional home run either. There's power that this guy has. He's a really quiet, smooth swing, good hitter.
2-1 with the runner on second and 2 outs. One loops in on the hands.
Yeah, that's a nice pitch from Fiorito to the lefty. Started on the inner half of the plate, let it kind of come in.
Curveballs look good so far here in this
has.
first inning for Jake. Graduate of Clark University here this year. 11 starts for them. Now the 2-2 from the slide step. And on the hands, a fastball. We've already seen one ball aided by the wind. With Golossi's speed and kind of his ability to break fast on balls in the gaps, it would have been interesting to see if there was no wind. He was able to catch that ball from Whitfield. I think he would have at least had a chance. He had no shot, though, in the end.
No, yeah. And there was kind of a high fly ball, too, that floated out there.
2-2 on the ground. Who's going to get it? It's Bolin who comes out, tags the bag, and that is the end of what's a pretty good inning for Jake Fiorito overall. Retires the first two, ground out strikeout, then the double by Eric Whitfield, and J.D. Stubbs grounds out to end the mini threat here. Time for your Freaky Fast Facts here today, presented by Jimmy John's. Let's see what we have today. Several states, including Montana, Colorado, and Nevada, derive their names from Spanish words. There you go.
No surprise there.
Roughly 14% of all people 5 years and older speak Spanish in the United States.
That's a higher number than I would have thought.
And Roberto Clemente from Carolina, Puerto Rico, was the first Hispanic American to win a World Series.
And kind of set the tone. There have been many since, and rightfully so. A lot of great Hall of Fame baseball players have come from Hispanic countries, and
a lot of really good ones just here locally.
Yeah.
Not locally in terms of born and raised, but playing for the Tigers. Carlos Guillen, Maglio Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, Placido Polanco.
Polanco, one of my favorites.
And I'm sure we're missing some.
Oh, of course. We've got a few here in the USPBL. Eric Ramirez on this Beavers team, Luis Attilis on this Unicorns team, both from the Dominican Republic.
Eric Sandus taking the hill here for the Beavers. The 6'6", 210-pound righty comes in with a .554 ERA through 3 appearances. This will be his third start. 4 walks to 8 strikeouts. I talked to Mitch, the pitching coordinator here at the USPBL, and he kind of hammered home, look, he's getting ahead in counts, but he's not able to finish off those hitters as much as they'd like. So obviously they want to continue to get ahead of hitters, but just take advantage of those 1-2, 0-2 counts.
Yeah, I think Sandus, kind of unlike some other pitchers in the league, doesn't exactly have that cutthroat, bone-breaking put-away pitch that a lot of guys use. You think of Colin Ledbetter with the slider, or Carson Ferry with the fastball, Greg Lokinen with the curve. He doesn't quite have that. He's not going to kill you with his velocity, but he's going to locate well. And sometimes you in long at-bats, you can really just run out of space to put the ball. And you try to work hitters to be prepared that if you get in a 2-strike count, you can put it somewhere they haven't seen it yet, and maybe it freezes them, maybe they swing and miss. But when hitters can take at-bats to 5, 6, 7 pitches, you run out of space as the pitcher on where you can locate that put-away pitch.
Leading off for the Unicorns, a center fielder number 24, Drew.
So here's Drew Galassi now. 9 for 27 start for Drew. One more walk than strikeouts to this point, 9-8.
You mentioned it. One more walk than strikeouts, very disciplined hitter. Has really everything you look for in a baseball player.
First pitch to Drew, fastball high. I can't remember if we've said this on air or not because we've talked to a lot of people about it off air, but these jerseys are pretty cool.
They're absolutely fantastic. This might be the best jersey we're going to see all year from any squad for any reason.
1-0 high, but scooted out of play. And we got word that they are going to reuse these as well from year to year, so this is going to be the jersey here on Hispanic Heritage Night.
I might have to talk to our marketing department, see if I can get my hands on one of these.
Fly ball to left center field. Fraley looking into the wind. It kind of died down a little bit as that ball was put in play for the first out.
It was hot off the bat. We heard a little oohs and ahs from the crowd, and understandably it got quickly back to the outfield. Wind wasn't quite aiding it. It's kind of going perpendicular to the wind, and an easy play for Fraley out there in the sun.
Bowling off for a 9 for 27 start, including a double and a home run. In on the hands and sent to left, but up there enough for Davis for the second out.
See, it's kind of what we talked about with Sandness. I've seen 4 good pitches from him, except for really the first one that was kind of a little too high. But other than that, good pitches, good velocity, good location, and they've hit him hard just to outfielders, so still getting the job done.
Does like to get in on hands, break those bats. First pitch to Childress, fading away.
If his curveball is going to be like that the rest of the night, might be a long night for the Unicorns.
1-0 away, threw it back to back.
Yeah, I think he just tried to change his target a little bit, go a little bit higher, try to get it dotted on that bottom corner. Nice job by Childress laying off of it.
Now the 2-0. Ooch, that one hurt. Where did it hit him exactly? Was that on that right hand?
I heard it.
It hit the bat as well. Huh.
When it first touched, it looked live like it might have just been the bat.
Just from his reaction, you thought that it might have hit him.
Maybe got a little scared.
2-1. Knocks the bat out of his hands now.
Well, I think you were right, Jeremy, that Eric likes to go in on the hands a little bit, break those bats, maybe a little unconventionally.
Yeah, if you broke it that way, that would have been something. Now the 2-2. Fastball high, 89, his best velocity so far tonight.
We've seen that progressively get better from Sandness as the season has gone on.
The wind whipping. Got to look out for a guy like this. Curveball trying to dot it on the outside corner, but Childress took all the way. And now Ari Sakopoulos will try to do some damage. He's got 3 home runs.
Yeah, he's already done enough damage this year. He's been really fun to watch. A good fielder. Has gone back and forth between left and first base. He's out there in left today. But, man, every time he steps up, you think he can hit a dinger. And every time he does, they're almost no doubters every time, too.
Fastball high.
When he really gets a hold of it, he absolutely crushes the ball. We were watching him a little bit batting practice today up here in the booth, and fun guy to watch.
And not a lot of people on the hill today. Not a huge surprise with the sun soaking down, at least here early. Maybe we'll see some more people gravitate towards it later. Change up off the hands of Watson as Childress advances to second. That's the thing, you know, even with a night game, obviously, most of the grandstands are in shade here today. So, case in point, if you're thinking about coming to a game, you see the temperature and see the sun. And
there's usually a good spot, to be away from the sun. If you want a tan, go out to the hill.
2-0 high. 3-0 on Sakopoulos now. I tan very easily.
Do you?
I burn pretty easily, too.
Yeah, I got burned over the weekend, but it's good. I'm usually pretty pale, so I could use a little sun.
Now the 3-0 swung through it, having the green light there.
Well, if anybody in this league, especially on this Unicorns team, has a green light, it's Sakopoulos, and he knew Sandus was going to come to him. I think Sandus did a good spot, kind of low and away, but still in the zone with that fastball.
Now the 3-1. Change up by him. 3-2 on Sakopoulos.
He's challenging Sakopoulos. 2 good pitches behind in the count.
It's been a pretty good mix, too, the last couple hitters. What he's trying to do. Just didn't locate the way he wanted to Childress. Runner on second, 2 outs, full count delivery inside. Now back-to-back walks after the first 2 were retired. We'll send Leandy Castro to the plate.
Yeah, I think right now for Sandus, just not locating early in the at-bats. We've seen that in every at-bat so far except for Bolin, which was a 1-pitch flyout, but kind of trying to nibble around the strike zone, and that can lead to hitters really taking. A lot of hitters, we've talked about this with Vaughn Joshua, and it drives him crazy, but a lot of hitters will take a first-pitch strike. They want to see that ball come in. They'll let the fastball, let the changeup slide right into the heart of the zone and take it. And if you're Sandus, you can challenge these hitters. You don't really have to nibble around the zone, especially in the first 2 pitches.
First pitch to Castro. Popped him up. Everybody converging. Not sure anybody had a great read on it. The ball's dropped. And staying around second base is Childress there.
And that's the first run of the game, brought to you by David King.
Or is Sakopoulos, I beg your pardon. Childress comes in to score, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Unicorns.
Well, we haven't seen Cameron Collette play third base a whole lot this year. The Beavers kind of had a lockdown third baseman defensively, and that changed after the showcase. He's been around the infield, but not quite at third base a whole lot, and that's just a tough ball. It comes right to the mound. You don't usually want your pitcher to make those outs, those pop-ups.
That one popped up foul.
That was crushed for a second by Lambert. I mean, immediately foul, but he got all barrel there.
They ruled that play an error. Just went up with it. On the ground to Fenley. Nice charity hop for him. Feeds to Page at second, and that will end the inning. A run comes around on an errant pop-up just to the right of the mound. 1-0 Unicorns here on the USPBL Network.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born is a diver's watch. The challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Elevate your life on the road with a new Lincoln from Crest Lincoln. We're here to provide a purchase and ownership experience that's on your terms. We have new Lincolns arriving every day, or take advantage of ordering your Lincoln exactly how you'd like it, and you'll receive an additional $1,000 benefit towards that purchase or lease. We're celebrating 100 years of elevating the driving experience. Discover the possibilities at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights, or visit us today at crestlincoln.com.
Take Fiorito back in the mound here for the Utica Unicorns, who lead it 1-0. Just a pop-up around the pitcher's mound off the bat of Leandy Castro. Able to plate Noah Childress. 2 walks in the inning. Come back to bite Sandness. Good job by Jake Fiorito on that first. He retired the first 2 he saw and then gave up the double to Eric Whitfield. And the immediate ground out to the first baseman, Bolin. Got him out of the inning quickly. Ryan Sullivan, Chris Davis, Luke Fenley to bat here in the second as the fastball finds the outside corner for strike 1.
Perfect pitch from Fiorito, low and away, right on that corner. Not an easy pitch to swing at, especially first pitch for a hitter. We'll get to see 2 newcomers this inning, though, which is fun. 2 lefties, back-to-back, Davis and Fenley.
0-1, ooh, curveball in for strike 2. That was a tough pitch.
Yeah, Sullivan thought about swinging, and rightfully so. I think he probably thought that was that high fastball that we've already seen Fiorito use, and instead, just right at the end, comes back in on the hands, inner half of the plate, right in the zone.
The 0-2. Back to the fastball, in on the hands. Something both of these pitchers have tried to do so far today. So Fiorito, very much so the 12-6 curveball. We saw the more slider slurvy-like curveball from Sandness in the last inning. Middle of the infield towards their respective holes here. Outfield fairly normal depth here as the changeup delivered high. 1-2 now.
Surprised to see Fiorito going up in the zone with these breaking balls. We saw that curveball get in for a strike. I mean, I guess it's working. It's really throwing off the hitters. You don't expect to see that too much. Those are usually mistake pitches that you punish.
1-2, swing and a miss.
And then he drops down. What a fantastic job by Fiorito there.
Next up for the Beavers,
goes up in the zone with the curve, fastball, and changeup 3 pitches in a row, and then just drops the curveball off the table below the zone.
Here's Chris Davis now. 0 for 3 starts. His pro career did reach the other day via a walk. First pitch slider off the plate offside. And you kind of questioned him before the game in our brief conversation. Hey, you played at 2 really academically strong schools, to say the least. It's like, yeah, no big deal. You
right,
know.
Yeah. Went to Princeton for undergrad for 4 years, played baseball all 4, and then went to Duke for graduate school for 2 years and played baseball all 2 years. So he's got degrees from Princeton and Duke over 6 years while playing college baseball and all of it, and doing well. He's a professional baseball player now.
Now the 1-1, fastball away.
And now we would be remiss if we didn't mention, it's a common name, Chris Davis, but his father is Reese Davis of ESPN, a fantastic college game day and college football host for all of ESPN's shows.
The 2-1, fastball high and shot the opposite way. His dad is in attendance here today from what we know.
Yeah, he said he played all the sports growing up, football, baseball, basketball, and his favorite was baseball because that was his dad's off season, and his dad got to come to the games, and his first pro game, and he's here. Pretty cool stuff.
Even pitch here, took it low and in. Breaking ball that he kind of yanked that time. Wind blowing out. Spent most of the day 3-2. Shot the opposite way. Lambert over to cover. 1 up and 1 down, or 2 up and 2 down here in the second.
Fiorito is dominating right now with the location. His command is fantastic. We've seen him start and end at bats now with that fastball low and away right on that corner of the strike zone. Whereas a hitter, oh, you hate to see that pitch. You don't want to swing at it. You know you're not going to really put it anywhere, but you have to defensively with 2 strikes and keep it out of the zone. You can't just watch that pitch go by either.
First pitch to Fenley, ripped to Attilis. Couple steps to his right, fires a dart over to first base there, and it's a 1-2-3 breeze of an inning for Fiorito. He's retired 4 straight here on the USPBL network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Eric Sandness, in his second inning of work here, gave up an unearned run in the first. Did walk a pair with 2 outs after retiring the first 2 batters. Childress and Sakopoulos walked. Sakopoulos driven in on the pop out. How often do you say that?
Yeah, that's one of those tough ones. Like we said, comes right to the mound. Usually your pitcher doesn't, you don't want your pitcher to take those, and then you've got 5 guys, you know, all the infielders and the catcher converging, and it tends to be a miscommunication and kind of a shouting match. I got it. No, I got it. No, I got it. And then that's just a tough play to make.
Seven, 8, 9 due up for the Unicorns here in the second. That's Matt Parkinson, Louis Attilis, and John Hodo. First pitch from Sandness. Fastball at 88 in for strike 1.
Parkinson now the only true catcher left on the Unicorns roster. Duncan Hewitt has moved over to the Diamond Hoppers, I believe, after this weekend's college showcase.
Off the end of the bat and foul.
Parkinson and Hewitt were kind of trading roles. Duncan Hewitt's a really good defensive catcher. Parkinson's one of the better hitters in this Unicorns lineup. So he's going to have to assume a larger role behind the dish as a catcher. He's done good today so far. See what he can do at the plate.
Ooh, in on the dome there. Taken for a ball, 1-2. So actually kind of opposite the way I thought the Shadows might move. They're moving away from the mound. So they're getting more in tight. There's more sunshine on the batter. Now the 1-2. Right up the middle, a base hit.
Get 2-strike hitting by Parkinson. Be ready for him to try to put you away. He's going to have to come in the zone to do so. Parkinson's a disciplined hitter. I think Sandness knows that. He's not going to chase a whole lot. Gave him kind of a cookie in the zone, and Parkinson took it right back.
Louis Attilis trying to break his 1-for-21 start thus far.
Someone who you really want to see break that start. One of the easiest people to root for in the USPBL. Such a nice player that we talk to, say hi to all the time. Someone that we mentioned from the Dominican Republic. Celebrating tonight.
Fastball in the hands, 1-0. Coming to the USPBL from Lenore Rhine.
We know he can hit too. 324 average and 5 college seasons, 852 OPS.
Getting a flub foul. Stubbs getting a good taste at how much foul territory there is.
Yeah.
324 at Lenore Rhine. 55 runs batted in this year.
Out of his 130 career RBIs, so a little less than half coming in his last season.
Now the 1-1. Fouled off again. John Hodo on deck, then the top of the order for Drew Galassi. He lined one out to center field his first time up. The wind died down for the moment, but seems like every time it dies down, it picks up within 30 seconds. Fenley charges, only played a first for the first out here in the second. Fenley's looked pretty comfortable so far at shortstop.
Yeah, he did on that last ground ball in the first inning and did there. That's a tough play to make, and most guys I think would, it's a showcase league, try to show off their skills and get 2 there, and Fenley made the smart play, just get the runner at first, move on to the next guy.
Some may be wondering, how does this showcase work in terms of bringing these guys in? First pitch to Hodo, slider that nips the outside corner for strike 1, or the curveball, I beg your pardon. It's a little bit of both in terms of guys learning about it. Maybe they heard from one of their coaches that has a relationship with the USPBL down the 0-1. Fastball rising high and away, but a little bit also of, maybe some guys that the coaches here have heard about that they want to get another look. Maybe they were still playing in their college season, hence the name.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes at a right time. Obviously, NCAA is still going on in Division I, but I think it's believed that a good amount of those guys will be drafted, and if not, they'll come here after, potentially.
Yeah, we've had a few Division I players come to the USPBL. There's a few on the field tonight. Ryan Sullivan, the first one that just comes to mind off the top of the head from Gonzaga, but a lot of those guys who are in the College World Series, like you said, probably going to be drafted to the MLB in the coming days.
2-1, 87 high, and Hodo just able to get a ripping piece of that.
So yeah, it comes at a good time.
It is a very weird time, though, across affiliate ball and independent ball. Independent ball certainly has become more important because there's less draft spots available than in years past. And that one barely nicked John for a hit-by-pitch there. But because the affiliates have been cut down, there's obviously less spots for teams to take those players and carry on their rosters. And you hear a little bit these days of, yeah, this scout told me to go to indie ball, and then, if you perform well in indie ball, then you can get picked up as a free agent non-draftee.
With the COVID cuts, there's just less room to take a chance on a flyer.
Line drive to left. Davis is over for the second out. So a single and a hit by pitch standing on first and second, and now your 2-hole hitter, Malik Bolin, coming up.
But yeah, indie ball has become so important with all the less spots, and that's good for the game. It grows the independent leagues and allows them to become more popular, bring more scouts to those leagues, adds a little bit of higher stakes to the games and what players show.
Now the 1-0. Fastball outside, 2-0 on Bolin, lined out to left. His first time up.
Bolin, not exactly someone you want to get behind in the count to, with 2 runners on and one of them in scoring position.
Swung over the fastball there. Velocity has dipped down a little bit here in the second inning, more 86 to 88. We saw a fairly consistent 87, 88 in the first. The 2-1 on the ground to Page. Wicked hop. It's going to score a run. Parkinson around third. Hodo to third as well. And it's 2 zip Unicorns.
Talk about a bad break with 2 capital Bs. Marcus Page is a pretty steady defender there at second base. He's going to make that play, I think, 10 times out of 10 without that hop. And when it does that hop, there's just absolutely nothing you can do. That was a conversation we had with Adrian Guzman pregame today about the infield grass and some of the challenges it poses. And he said as a defender, he kind of liked it being a little bit longer. You could just charge balls, and they would usually die, and you could make the play. But we have not seen a hop like that, I think, yet this year.
First pitch fastball to Childress, tails to the outer edges for strike one. Noah Childress with a 3-2 walk back in the first inning. Had a little bit of a battle. He saw that fastball in on the hands, doinked the bat a couple times, one near the handle and one literally on the barrel as he was trying to duck down.
On the vertical barrel,
yeah.
For those that weren't watching. It was,
you just
he was holding the bat
that.
over his shoulder and just ducked below, left the bat up, and nicked it. It was a foul ball. He got hit with a strike.
Here's the 1-1. Some depth on that fastball, 1-2. Two outs, runners on first and third. Middle of the infield, slightly in, especially Page at second. Fastball that drops away. 2-2 now. Thank you for tuning in on the USPBL Network. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabath. Encourage you to chime in on the chat sections on Facebook and YouTube. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Or a swing and a foul. Sandus thought he was heading back to the dugout. There's the changeup.
I don't blame him. I thought he was too. I think Miles Watson and our home plate umpire, Noah Childress, were the only ones that could have known that ball was tipped.
The even pitch here. Fly ball to right. Sullivan started in, has to go back. The wind is carrying it. Gone! My goodness! Noah Childress with his second home run of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that had no shot off the bat.
No, I think you're absolutely right. It looked like kind of a regular fly ball. And talk about two bad breaks in a row for the Beavers when they should have been in a ground out from Bolin. He gets the hop over Page for the single that scores a run. And then Childress, what looks like strikes out on a really nice pitch from Sandus, breaking ball low and away, apparently tips it, and then takes it back for a dinger the next pitch.
Just kind of watching his reaction on our Facebook monitor. Flipped the bat out there, watched it. Just kind of one of those reactions like, I got under that. That's an out. That's the end of the inning. But we didn't get to see his reaction after he saw that it went out, but I'm sure it was a smile. He has now given his team a 5-0 lead with 2 outs here in the second. Flip it into the wind and see what happens.
I guess.
0-1. Sky's another one. This one in foul territory next to the doghouse down there. And Stubbs sees it fly away. Stubbs getting the full taste of all that foul territory down there.
He doesn't seem like a stranger to it.
No.
Using it well.
Can't imagine there's many NAI ballparks this large in terms of, down the first and third base lines. Played at Georgia Gwinnett. Here's the 0-2. Line drive to left, hanging up there. Davis able to snag it in the gap. And that will be the end of the top of the second inning here. Or I should say the bottom. A flurry of offense. One big fly. His second home run of the year by Noah Childress here on the USPBL Network.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to
do it. The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
An interesting inning offensively there for the Unicorns. They sent 7 to the plate. The bad hop that allowed the ball of Malik Bolin to extend the inning and drive in a run. The second at that point, but then 3 more driven in the very next at-bat with runners on first and third. Noah Childress hit it into the wind down the right field line. You going to join them down there?
We've talked about this. I'm no dancer.
I'm not either.
It's gotta be a groovy song for me.
I'm hiding if somebody asks me to do
but
something like that.
But back to your point about these runs, Jeremy, you could make the argument this should be a nothing ball game. The first run in the first inning from the Unicorns came by an error, and then those last 4 runs, the single from Bolin that bounces off the infield brought in a run. That if that's a regular ground ball, Page makes the play 10 times out of 10, and we get out of the inning. And then the home run from Childress, he almost struck out the pitch before. I mean, he must have nicked by centimeters that ball, just enough for those 3 at the plate to hear it, and nobody else, because I didn't hear it, and I don't think anybody else really heard it either. We all thought it was a strikeout. And then he takes the next pitch deep.
Miles Watson, Marcus Page, Tyler Fraley, 8-9-1 in the lineup here for the Beavers, trying to get it going. A double is their only offense thus far here today. Fastball pounded away to Watson, off to a 0-for-4 start to his pro career thus far. Now the 1-0. Sinks in for strike 1. As a team, the Beavers coming into today hitting just 194. 31 walks to 72 Ks. Their opponents 253. So that says a lot as well about the results. 1-1 swung over the top.
I think the Beavers haven't quite produced the results on the mound they would like to have had to. It was a tough outing for Austin Shea on Saturday. His last time only went an inning and a third. That just compounds the struggles at the plate.
Swing and a miss. Wipe out breaking ball. Parkinson can't find it. Ooh, fires over to first and just got Miles Watson. In some regard, Watson is lucky he didn't get pegged down there.
Wow. I mean, I was surprised Parkinson had the guts to even fire that ball in the first place. And then I saw him wind up and said, oh, man, this is going to be a bullet. And, hey, to his credit, it was right on target. Bolin didn't have to flinch with the glove. And Bolin did a nice job getting to the opposite side of the bag in foul territory and being on the right side of it. But, yeah, lucky for Watson, he didn't get drilled there.
First pitch to Page. Chase the fastball outside. Third inning brought to you by Chevrolet. We thank Chevrolet for their partnership with the USPBL this year. Top of the order on deck. And a 5-0 game. Time for the Beavers to get it going here. Now the 0-1. Fastball pulled in for strike 2.
Nice job by Parkinson there. That might have been ball 1.
Here's the 0-2. Slider away. Chop to Lambert in play. Nice job to stay with it. Bolin can't quite scoop. And an error to begin the first base runner here in the third for the Beavers.
Well, the Unicorns were able to take advantage of a couple errors and a couple breaks that went their way. See if the Beavers can do it here. Got the top of the order, 1 on, 1 out. It's a pretty good spot to be after giving up a 4-run second inning.
Lambert in on the cut of the grass at third as the breaking ball in for strike one. Collette on deck. See what the Beavers can do here in the third. Fastball outside, 1-1.
Likely not going to see Page steal over there at first. Hasn't attempted yet. Kind of in a good spot, though, with one out. Want to stay out of the double play. Get in scoring position.
Short lead for Page. Good secondary as Fraley skies that out of play.
I mean, Fraley is someone who is such a good hitter, controls the bat well at the plate, that if Page is in scoring position, Fraley's got the ability to put the ball in play where Page can score. So I like the idea of Page maybe going here. I think the Unicorns understand that as well.
Middle of the infield in tight. Look for that inning double play. Now the 1-2 from the slide step away. Fastball at 88 there. Tyrone Jackson on YouTube says hello. Ben Kosmowski tuning in from K-Pac here today. Lori Jones says she lives just 10 minutes away from Jimmy John's Field. She's watching as well. Now the 2-2 with the wind blowing to left center field. He shoots it that way. Sakopoulos, right place, right time for the second out.
Just a tad late for Tyler Fraley there. He likes that pitch that's not quite a hung breaking ball, but a little bit more elevated than I think Fiorito was going for, especially with a hitter like Fraley up at the plate. And half a second or two, if you can recognize that pitch a little earlier, that's dead in the left center gap. Probably scores a run.
Collette with a strikeout swinging back in the first. First pitch to Cam. Fastball outside. So this Unicorns bullpen, I think, more open to being used with some more arms here today. But Fiorito doing a nice job at limiting the pitch count early on as that one pumped fouled on the first base line. 46 pitches through 2 2/3 thus far.
Yeah, they're expecting him to go 4 or 5, but I see no reason for the Unicorns why they wouldn't try to get him to go maybe 6. If he's comfortable with that. They've got a lead like they do.
Just 8 innings coming into play here today, but all these guys kind of at a different pace in terms of how long they've been stretched out.
Unicorns play tomorrow as well, so they don't want to throw an arm out there that they don't necessarily have to or earlier than they have to. If they can preserve one of the arms scheduled for today for tomorrow, they will do so.
Unicorns and Diamond Hoppers tomorrow on a Fireworks Friday. The 1-1 fastball again, and Collette keeps fighting them off.
Matchup of two powerhouses tomorrow. The Diamond Hoppers started the season 0-5 and dead last, and now they're 4-5 in second place, trying to catch up to this Unicorns team. They were the first and only team to beat the Unicorns this year, and it remains that way. They've won 4 straight.
Here's the 1-2. Shot back to the screen.
We ran into Joe Burke before the game today, first baseman for the Hoppers, one of the best hitters in their lineup, and said, hey, you know, 4 in a row, look at you guys. He said, yeah, it's the green uniforms. They didn't start winning until they wore the green uniforms with the frog spots on them. And
there you go.
They keep wearing them and keep winning them.
I'm not sure the Unicorns need the uniform change, but
no, they should never change these uniforms.
Here's the 1-2 again. Looping around the plate, but stays inside. 2-2. kind of give you a picture on what this day is like in terms of sun and the brightness. The lights are on. And at 8 o'clock, that's not necessarily a crazy thing to come about. Right. Yeah. Not needed right now, though. 2-2, shuttered foul. It's just one of those days where the sun hangs around and hangs around. Eric Whitfield on deck. Fiorito getting his money's worth on battles here in the third. Nothing past 2 balls, but plenty of fouls by Fraley and now Collette here. High and away, snap throw, gets by, and not far enough for Page to think about advancing there.
Like the play by Parkinson, he knows Page is aggressive over there at first. But this has been a nice battle by Cameron Collette. He's spoiled some really good pitches from Fiorito. I'm sure he's gotten a few eye rolls from Jake over on the mound after some of them. I know I would.
Runner moving. This one clubbed to center. Galassi started in, using those shades going back. Over the shoulder, can't make the catch. Marcus Page going to glide his way in for the first run for the Beavers tonight.
Well, the battle pays off for Collette. Patience is a virtue, and it comes through for the first run. A really nice job. Club that one, like you said, out to center. Tough play for Galassi, but also he kind of coasted back there to the warning track, and it's kind of unorthodox to do, but what they teach outfielders to do these days is if you see that ball's behind you, you have to sprint backwards. You know, turn around, sprint towards the wall, get to the spot you think it is, and then turn around and find that ball so that you can be under it.
Curveball popped him up. Hodo and Castro, they collide. Collette's around third and coming home. 5-2. Mistakes are key here in this game to runs thus far.
So that last one was an error to Galassi, which I thought was borderline, so that's likely an error for either Hodo or Castro as well. And like we said, Beavers taking advantage, giving the Unicorns a little bit of a taste of their own medicine.
First pitch to Stubbs, crowds him inside. Ground out to the first baseman. Back in the first here. Stubbs with his first professional hit. Non-public the other day on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in the USPBL. Today, the first public day of action. Now the 2-0. Fastball high and away, 3-0 on J.D. Stubbs. And, boy, these pitchers have just gotten a bit unlucky today in terms of these innings.
Yeah. I mean, these pitch counts are not going to reflect how well these guys have done. I mean, Eric Sandus got out of that last inning 3 batters before he really did, essentially. And same thing for Fiorito here. Last inning for the Unicorns, they had all 4 runs come across with 2 outs. Now same thing today for the Beavers here in the third. Both of their runs have come with 2 outs.
The left fielder Sikopoulos nearly touching the warning track. Galassi is shallow. Right fielder Castro at normal depth. 3-1. Fastball. Pulled him back. 3-2.
That's all I'm going to say about that one.
5-2 Utica here in the third. Full count. Runner on first. Whitfield, who will be on the move here with nobody holding him on. That one shot. in front of Galassi. Can't make the catch. Whitfield to third base. Had a steam. Sent home. Airs it out. Skips in. Parkinson tags him out. What a weird sequence.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised Vaughn Joshua sent Whitfield. You'd think with him running on the pitch, he'd be in a spot to score, but just doesn't quite have the legs like that and was dead to rights before that ball got there. Parkinson wasn't even in a crouched position. He was standing straight up.
That's your fifth third bank, fifth third out of the game. Now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union here today. Boy, that's a welcome addition to the umpire, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Hot day today.
Also your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot. It's Michael who will go against Buzz the Beaver here today. So Buzz with an early lead, and now he checks back, which you never want to do. You just want to put your head down and run. He misses second base as well, my goodness.
He's out of breath. Look at Michael.
Michael
with
a good
stamina.
Round of third here. He's headed home. Buzz still barreling behind him. It might be close here at home plate, and Michael actually missed. He wants to go around again. Big Mike. He wants to give a high five to the first baseman, Stubbs.
That's the spirit, Michael.
He's like, once is not good enough. I want to get the full experience here today.
If you're going to willingly let me out here and run around these bases, I'm going to get my money's worth. You best believe it.
It'll be 5, 6, 7 due up for Jim Essian's team. Leandy Castro, Kevin Lambert, Matt Parkinson here in the third inning. It was a glorious inning for offense for the Unicorns in the second. Helped out by kind of a knuckling ball off the dirt. Then a wind-aided home run to right. I'm not sure even Childress would be mad at us for describing it that way.
No,
at his reaction.
It certainly was. That ball was directly behind the wind. You know, when you get on the golf course and you say, oh, it's downwind. Let me pull out the big stick. Let me pull out the driver. And you feel that wind, and it's perfectly going down that fairway. That's how that baseball was.
How much of a difference does that actually make for the average golfer, you think?
You'd be surprised if you can hit it right, if you can get it up. I mean, I'm no big hitter. I'm tall and skinny, though. I've got with some of these pitchers, got those long arms that allow you to get some distance, and baseball would be speed on the mound, velocity.
0-1, chopped on the third baseline. Collette is going to let it inch foul. That was trouble if he saw that one hook fair, but not to be.
But yeah, I would say I average around anywhere from 260 to 280, and you get downwind with a nice enough wind, you get the ball up in the air, you'd be surprised. You walk up to the ball, hey, that was 300 yards. Pretty good drive. U.S. Open happening this week. Should see some good golf there. Boy, we've had a lot of drama in the golf world lately.
Different, isn't it?
Yeah. Not something I thought I would see in my days. Thank God we don't have any drama in baseball, right? Fantasy disputes and teams plunking each other.
In the hands as Castro fouls it off here. Six for 28. Now 6 for 29 after he reached on an error in the first.
Believe it or not, Leandy Castro has a stolen base this year.
Now the 0-2. Ouch. Off the leg of Sandness. Still chucks it out and safe at first base is Castro. What an effort for Eric Sandness, all put together, but
yeah, credit him for sticking with it and making a really athletic play there at first base. Avoided, running into Castro, brought his arm out to make the catch and then pulled it back after he did. Appears to be okay after taking that shot. That looked like it might have been right near the shin, which is such a tough spot to take it.
So Kevin Lambert, who was stuck with the fielder's choice to end the first. Looking for hit number 5 of the year. Half of his hits recorded thus far have been for extra bases. Matt Parkinson would follow him as the fastball buried in the dirt. Good job by Watson to block that down immediately. Catching was certainly something I think they wanted to tighten up around the league.
Yeah, and if you can see that with Watson just looking at the numbers. Spent last season in college, or I guess I should say this year, this most recent college baseball season at Presbyterian, and the hitting numbers don't jump off the page to you, but they did want to shore up defensively that catcher position. It's been causing a world of hurt and headaches to Vaughn Joshua and Josh Hines. And I think they kind of found their guy in Miles Watson.
Fraley is shallow in center. The 2-0 in between the shortstop and the third baseman. The first 2 have reached here in the third. How about this Unicorns team trying to slide right back those runs after the Beavers scored a pair?
Yeah, I mean, what did Vaughn Joshua tell us before the game? Hit it where the ball's pitched. That one's low and away, and Lambert does a good job just putting it on the ground but through the hole. You know, single, that's all you need. 2 on, nobody out.
We had a very interesting conversation with Vaughn before the game, just from a timing standpoint for hitters. Lifting that leg up as that ball is going to stay fair. Maybe it sure will not.
Wow.
My goodness. Rarely you see a ball like that actually hook foul. It nearly hit the bag on its path to the left.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Wow.
And he's gotten lucky on a couple times on plays like that.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? Isn't that the saying?
Sure is.
Boy, that would have been a tough look for Collette had that ball stayed fair. Still got a chance to turn a double play here. Wow, what would that be? Pretty romantic. Ground ball right to him. He could turn 2.
High and in, 1-1. But anyway, to that, kind of hitting conversation.
Yeah.
Talking about making adjustments, and that's a big thing as well when you get to this level. Certainly when you have coaches the caliber of Vaughn Joshua, 10 years in the big leagues, as that's a mini leap by Watson. Can't get it. Castro to third, Lambert to second, Paul Nochi, time in the big leagues. Jim Essian managed in the big leagues, played in the major leagues as well. Shane McCaddy, time in the minor leagues as the pitching coordinator. His dad, of course, playing locally for the Tigers as well. But, everyone has their bit of experience, whether it be affiliate ball, independent ball, Major League Baseball. But that's the thing you hear. There's just some guys who aren't open to adjustments, unfortunately. And if those guys don't perform, they likely don't stick around.
And I tell you what, if you're not open to making the adjustments that Vaughn Joshua,
this one gets away, and the tag is late by Sandus. Castro scatters his way home, and it's now 6-2 Unicorns.
Nice aggressive base running by Castro. I was really surprised that he went for that. I think Sandus was too.
I'm with you.
That moves a runner up to third as well. Kind of distracts the rest of the infield. Lambert gets to scoot over there. But yeah, back to your point, if you're a player who's made it to this pro league and you need to get better.
Now the 3-1 fastball just missed the outside corner. We'll get to this sooner than later.
Right. If you're not willing to take the advice and soak in what Vaughn Joshua, a 10-year MLB vet and a hitting coach at multiple major league organizations, a World Series champion, if you're not willing to take the advice that he has to give you, then I don't know what advice you are willing to take, And people our age, I'm 21. These kids are 23, 24. Sometimes we think we got it all figured out.
Wow, look at that rocket of a chop. Into left field it flies. Lambert will come home to score. It's just one of those days.
Yeah, I mean, you commented on it when you got here, Jeremy, that grass, you know, we get some hot days and we see a little bit of brown come out there, the sun beating down on it, and it appears it's just a little harder, a little bouncier today.
There's only so much you can do as well when you play games here all the time in terms of the non-publics as well, so they do their best to keep it, but it's rain ultimately that it needs, and the water obviously as well. But first pitch to Hodo inside. He was hit by a pitch back in the second inning. He came around to score. We did see some rain earlier in the area, but it was just kind of the passing thunder shower or two this morning. Now the 1-0. Line to the second baseman, Page, an easy tag of the bag, and that's how you get your inning back in order.
And that double play was brought to you by Valpak, proud partner of the USPBL.
Each and every double play brought to you by Valpak this year here in the USPBL. So Hodo the first out, Achilles, or check that, Parkinson the second out as Attila stands at first. Now here comes Drew Galassi. Pair of lineouts so far today, one to center, one to left. Fastball that does find the zone for strike one. And Vaughn was talking about the adjustments of some big-time foreign players as well. Actually, things I didn't really know coming into our conversation, but here's the 0-1. On the ground foul. He talked about both Ichiro Suzuki, who had a big leg kick coming over from Japan, and Shohei Ohtani, also similarly, had very bad spring trainings and then adjusted by opening day or after the first series, and all of a sudden they were the players they are, you know, now, and retired, of course, in Ichiro, but 0-2 fly ball to left center field. Fraley looking at that one, heading towards the scoreboard, still looking, leaping, can't make the catch, it's gone! Drew Galassi with his second of the year. Another wind-aided ball maybe, but that flag not doing much. So I think it just continue to carry.
That seems to be Drew Galassi's favorite spot in batting practice, is that scoreboard area, kind of right below that Jimmy John sign. And he put it there in play today. He was due for one.
And it looks like Fraley from banging into that wall is banged up.
That spells trouble for the Beavers if he's going to have to come out. I mean, that seemed kind of like he hit that wall pretty hard.
Look at that height comparison right there.
Sullivan and Fraley.
That just shows you can be any size and play this game well. Looks like Fraley's okay.
Commend him for the effort.
Here's Malik Bolin now. He singled back in the second and scored a run. That was the trouble that extended the inning as the Fuzzies fly around here. And now looks like a mound visit here as Vaughn Joshua will come out.
Yeah, back to your point about the leg kick, Jeremy. I think a lot of hitters, they think about timing, you know, work on your timing, get on top of that fastball. They think more about when you swing, whether you're hitting the ball to the opposite field and a little bit late, or you're pulling it and you're a little bit early. It's more from Vaughn Joshua, like we heard, about when you get that leg down, you know, and when you're stepping to hit or you're stepping and hitting. You want to step to hit. You want that leg down first before you start to swing the bat.
Well, it's the end of the day for Eric Sanders, back with the pitching change after this here on the USPBL Network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move. with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Zach Blankenship takes over on the mound here for the Beavers. Comfortable lead continues to grow. 2-run home run to left center field by Drew Galassi. Blankenship's the 6-foot, 210-pound lefty out of Valdosta State from Jacksonville, Florida.
Saw a Valdosta State t-shirt at the grocery store the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah. I said, hey, someone in the USPBL is from Valdosta State. Forgot who it was. It's Zach Blankenship.
I'm not sure what the umpire was looking at there.
Oh, that's been a hot topic in the majors this year, is the sticky stuff and umpires, how they police that. Appears nothing malicious going on here, though. Would really be surprised if that was the case from Blankenship. He's been good enough this year. Doesn't exactly need to be.
First pitch fastball at 91, the best we've seen by anyone so far here tonight, taken for strike one. Fastball, slider, changeup, splitter, or forkball, whatever you want to classify it as here for Blankenship.
He comes out of the pen throwing hard for the Beavers.
0-1 right to Fenley there, and the inning is over. Just takes a couple pitches, and Blankenship is out of what is another messy inning. 2 innings in a row with 7 batters. They put up 4 more runs. A couple home runs by Childress and Galassi in this game have kind of opened it up. Brendan Shabath will take over on the play-by-play when we get back.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. The Unicorns leading the Beavers by a bunch early, 9-2, as we start things off with Ryan Sullivan here in the top of the 4th. Jake Fiorito, the starter today for the Unicorns, still out there on the bump. It's looked good so far. 2 Ks, only 1 hit for the Beavers. First pitch in there for a strike to Sullivan. It'll be Sullivan, Davis, and Fenley due up for the Beavers, who badly need some runs. A 4-run second and a 4-run third. Sullivan gets plunked. That's an easy way to start it with a man on and nobody out. 4-run second, 4-run third for the Unicorns. Just a 2-run third is the only offense last inning that the Beavers have had. In danger of this one being broken wide open if they can't manufacture some runs here pretty quickly. Chris Davis steps in, ground out in the second. His only at bat so far. Lefty on righty matchup. Initial offering slapped at. That's a little bloop into left field. On the run, making the grab is Sakopoulos. Nice play there. Looked like it might drop for a single, and instead it's out number one. That ball just kind of hung up for Davis. Not sure if that was the wind. The flags look pretty limp. Sakopoulos was in good position, and that brings up Luke Fenley. Appears to be some reason for a stoppage with the umpires. I think that's JJ down there. You see him in the background running by there with the bat. There he is. I got to make sure he's out of harm's way before we play. Sullivan, the runner on first, hit by a pitch to start this inning. Fenley looks at a ball low, 87-mile-an-hour fastball from Fiorito.
We've already seen a change here by the Beavers, and we start to see some action in that Unicorns bullpen now as well.
The 1-0 above the zone for ball two. Change of sight line there for Fenley. Doesn't chase it. Ahead 2-0. Good hitters count. One on and one out. This one's out to right. Going back is Castro. Stops at the warning track, and he'll make the catch, and Sullivan will have to retreat. And after a leadoff hit by pitch, it's back-to-back flyouts for the Beavers, and now 2 down.
You've talked about kind of the sound off the bat on a couple of home runs we've had, not your characteristic Childress or glossy contact maybe in terms of how it sounds, but that one sounded pretty good.
And it looked like that was kind of the opposite of Childress's home run. That one looked like it had home run chance right off the bat, and then you look at Castro, and he's a good 10, 12 steps in front of the fence. Third newcomer in a row in the lineup for the Beavers, Miles Watson, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. As we mentioned, played a season at Presbyterian College before joining the USPBL this year. He's ahead 1-0. That one's outside 2-0.
So it's 14 warming up in the bullpen. I know
there's a 14 on the Unicorns roster.
There is not. I'm going to guess it's Aiken, though, because or maybe not, actually. We do know there's some shuffling with the numbers because of the different jerseys.
Kevin Lambert over at third. He's usually number 8. He's 17 today. In on the hands, and it goes over Bolin, kind of in a bad spot. And now Sullivan's going to go for 3. Watson going to go for 2. The throw is off. Good aggressive base running for the Beavers. So now runners at second and third with 2 outs for Marcus Page.
You could just see the deflated look on Bolin's face after he thought that one would be an easy end of the inning after the leadoff batter got on, but not so. It's been that kind of game for both of these two teams today, and a reason why you can't count out the Beavers just yet.
I think we're getting a feel for this infield. Another high bounce off that infield grass for Miles Watson. Surprised to see both him and Sullivan go for third and second base respectively. But now no force out for the Unicorns with Marcus Page up and 2 down. And on the hands, fouled back towards the feet for strike 1. Page reached on an error and scored last inning for the Beavers. He was the first run across the plate today for the boys in blue. Inside again from Fiorito. We've seen him use that a lot. I think the command not quite where it was in the earlier innings. We know Fiorito's only going 4 or 5.
Probably his last inning.
Yeah. This is the 5th batter in the top of the 4th for the Beavers. 1-1 up there, 85 miles an hour, and Page fell for it 1-2.
.71 pitches deep as well.
It's only his 2nd start. We talked about it in the pregame. Not exactly a starter for this Unicorn squad, although they don't really have any bona fide set guys who will only start this year. The 1-2 plunks Page, the 2nd batter this inning. The other guy who got plunked stands over there at 3rd. And now the bases are loaded for the top of the order, Tyler Fraley.
Not your conventional rally, is it? But you'll take whatever you can get for the Beavers, hitting sub-200. Just takes a hit or two away from getting some of these guys rolling.
And here's a good guy who needs a hit today. Has hit well this year. Oh, I think Fraley might be more injured than we originally expected. Eric Ramirez is pinch hitting for Tyler Fraley at the top of the order right now. Fraley leaped into the wall on that Galassi home run trying to rob it last inning and was slow to get up and was shaken up. He stayed out there for the rest of that inning as Ramirez looks at ball 1. The rest of the inning for Fraley also was after the pitching change with Sandness. And there was only 2 more pitches left. We'll see how this changes things defensively for the Beavers. Ramirez through the hole, and that's a big pinch hit RBI single for Eric Ramirez, his 7th of the year. Comes at a good time for the Beavers. They need some offense, taking advantage of a little bit of luck, a little bit of hit batters, and the bases stay loaded for Cameron Collette.
A little bit of station-to-station baseball here right now for the Beavers, but whatever works.
So it's Sullivan who comes around to score. And now that moves Watson to 3rd, Page to 2nd, and Ramirez obviously the runner at 1st. Ramirez not typically an outfielder, which is where Fraley was out in center. Like I mentioned, we'll see what the defensive alignment looks like for the Beavers. We've seen Ramirez play 3rd a little bit this year. We've seen him play short, primarily a left side infielder. It's now a mound meeting with Adrian Guzman, rocking the number 1 jersey today. Former player of the USPBL in a coach's jersey today this time. Fiorito's going to stay out there to try to finish off this inning.
I think they would really prefer him to do that at this point as well.
Not too many guys out of the bullpen are comfortable coming on with any base runners on, let alone the bases loaded in a 2-out jam. First pitch to Collette. Middle, strike 1. Fastball at 85 miles an hour. That's one of the things we talked about with Vaughn Joshua before the game, is guys letting mid-80s, high 80s fastballs go right in the heart of the plate for strike 1, and that's pretty textbook there. There's another one. 87, a little bit low and away, and Cameron Collette quickly behind 0-2 with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Do you have confirmation that is Aiken indeed warming up, wearing 14 today instead of 44?
Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball is dropped. Should be an easy play for Parkinson to just step on the plate. And out number 3, the Beavers get one back, but they still trail to the Unicorns 9-3 from Jimmy John's Field.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Back here at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica. Bottom of the fourth now. Noah Childress steps up for the Unicorns with a big lead, 9-3 right now. Childress, his last time up, had a home run in the second, reached on a walk in the first, got all the way to third on 2 wild pitches, and then an error on the pop-out from Cameron Collette allowed him to score. So 2 times on base and 2 runs scored today for Childress. First pitch from Blankenship is outside for ball 1. Reminder from Blankenship, we'll see that fastball, slider, splitter, and changeup. Good velocity on Blankenship. Usually lower 90s with the fastball. 81 there. The splitter for ball 2. Childress in a hitter's count, 2-0. Check swing didn't go around, 3-0. So it appears, we talked about the defensive adjustments with Eric Ramirez pinch hitting. Childress takes the 3-0 green light, fouled away, 3-1. Ramirez is out there in left, and Chris Davis, who was originally in left, shifts over to center. Sullivan stays in right where he was. So our first chance to see Eric Ramirez from Lenore Rhine in left field. 3-1 to Childress is swung on and fouled, full count. Blankenship has battled back in this at-bat after being down 3-0. And the payoff pitch. 88-mile-an-hour fastball fouled off again.
Talked about that home run back in the second. Never really expected it to sneak out. The wind definitely aided it. It's died down, though, as the night has worn on. 8:38 Eastern, not much of a wind happening right now. There's a subtle one to right center.
The 6th pitch of the at-bat is also foul for Childress. Still a full count. Childress, Sakopoulos, Castro due up. Childress and Sakopoulos were the only 2 last inning that didn't make a plate appearance for the Unicorns, as they had a 7-batter, 4-run third inning. Three-two again. Fouled back again. A nice battle here between these two.
That one at 92, I think his best fastball so far today.
It's of note that all of these strikes to Childress have been on fouls. Blankenship hasn't goaded a swing and miss yet. And again, number 8. This one's put in play. Out there to right field. Sullivan going back at the track, stopping, and he's under it for out number 1.
That's one of those case in points. Just put the bat on the ball. Allow Blankenship, in this case, to supply the power, and certainly did that, but hit it right to Sullivan, unfortunately, for Childress, as Blankenship maybe thought that one was at least heading to the warning track, given that smile.
And now Sakopoulos walking the first, fly out in the second.
Even Lancelot there has the jersey. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Look at him in the background there in the suites. First pitch to Sakopoulos is in there for a called strike 1.
Those suites, really a unique perspective down there. Right on the field, you get the seats outside as well.
Fun place to watch a game. We frequently sit there on the non-publics, check in. I like to sit in the dugouts, too. Sitting in the dugouts is fun. Another interesting place to take in a game.
It was so hot yesterday, and obviously with no fans in attendance, the guys actually had to sit in those seats kind of more down the first and third base line.
1-1 to Sakopoulos. Big cut and miss, 1-2 now. Sakopoulos 8 for 32 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs before this weekend. 0 for 1 with a walk today. Dangerous power hitter at any moment. Breaking ball 77 misses the zone. Good take from Sakopoulos behind 2 strikes.
Certainly been fun to let him settle into his power as well. Came here as the playoffs were nearly unfolding at the stretch run last year. Showed some power definitely in the Pecos League as well. Never know how it'll translate here, though.
2-2 chases the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Nicked it, though, for a foul ball.
Pecos League generally a very hitter-friendly league.
We've seen Dakota McFadden, who's new on this Beavers team from the Mammoths, succeed in the Pecos League before joining the USPBL.
Also on that Banana Tour.
Yeah. The 2-2, Watson wanted the call bad, held it for an extra 2 or 3 beats. Instead, it's ball 3 and another full count, second in a row that Blankenship has faced.
That one at 93 as well. You could tell he reared back a little extra. It looked all of 93 to the plate.
Put a little oomph behind it, but didn't get the call. Now the first payoff pitch to Sakopoulos, and he walked him. Blankenship couldn't come up with it, and the first base runner in the 4th, Desari Sakopoulos, after a walk.
For the most part, these long at-bats have not paid off for the pitchers that we've seen in this game. The 3 arms thus far. We might see our 4th when the Unicorns come out defensively. It looks like Aitken has stopped throwing and is ready to go if they want to go to him. And just, you know, judging on how this outing has went for Fiorito as well, not starting a lot this year. Probably done after 4, given his pitch count near 80.
Sandus was the starter today for the Beavers. First pitch to Leandy Castro, slapped foul. Sandus went 2 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 9 runs total. Did walk 2 batters and had no strikeouts, so a tough day for him. Not all of those 9 runs are earned, though. There were a couple errors in the field for the Beavers. That one scoots away from Watson. Sakopoulos stays at first, though.
This bullpen, though, for Birmingham Bloomfield has a chance to be really good. I mean, Shaw added to that equation, was a closer at Grand Valley State in the GLIAC, a good league here locally. Obviously, Crick has shown what he can do. We'll likely see him at some point today.
The 1-1 to Castro. Swing and a miss. Swung on top of it, 1-2.
Just a really nice wipeout changeup there. They kind of faded across the heart of the plate and then zinged inside on Castro all of a sudden.
1 for 2 today. Reached on an error in the first, had a single in the third. He had that single back up the middle that hit the shin of Eric Sandness, and he was able to get to first as there was no play for the Beavers. Scored in that inning as well. Sakopoulos on first. We'll try the 1-2 again with Castro. Lefty-righty matchup. This one's to short. Diving is Fenley. He can't make the play. It squirts under. And back-to-back runners for the Unicorns. Sakopoulos moves over to second, and Castro reaches with the single.
Well, even in a play like that, a really good effort by Fenley. He's had a pretty nice debut here on the public side defensively, but those balls are just not finding gloves today, regardless of whatever these teams want.
It's been a tough defensive day for both sides. Only 1 error on the scoreboard for each. That's rather ambiguous, if I do say so myself, Jeremy. We've seen 3 fly balls be dropped today that hit leather before hitting the ground. A swing and a miss from Lambert, strike 1. So the scoreboard does read 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Beavers, 9 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Unicorns. The 0-1 to Lambert. Foul back.
Not sure how long Blankenship had to warm him, and I guess it wasn't that long because we didn't even notice it. We were kind of surprised to see Vaughn take the ball away from Sandnes, but you can definitely tell he's warm now if he wasn't completely before.
Here's the 0-2. Low and into the dirt for ball one. Lambert has a home run to his name this year. One of the few we got to see in the non-publics. And the Unicorns' first and only loss this year, 3-1 to the Hoppers. 2 RBIs, 4 for 25 coming into today. 1 for 2 with a single today. Checked his swing. Did he go? He did. And that's a strikeout for Blankenship, his first, and out number 2.
Slider and the changeup have been a nice combination for him here today. Similar actions to both. Kind of likes to throw that slider a bit harder. Tunnel it like a fastball. That's something you hear often in guys trying to make their pitches look the same.
It's a new thing we're seeing, and it's been really deadly and tough for some hitters at all levels. The majors where they can really get that spin rate and that tunnel action. Here's a guy who deals with that a lot as a catcher. Now in there, Matt Parkinson looks at strike one. Sakopoulos, the runner on second. Castro, the runner on first. 2 on, 2 out for the catcher Parkinson. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Good job by Blankenship, these last 2 batters, despite the threats of danger on the base paths from the Corns. Bottom 4, 9-3 Corns over the Beavers here from Jimmy John's Field. The 0-2, swing and a miss from Parkinson. Back-to-back strikeouts. Blankenship gets out of the 2 base runners jam as we head to the top of the 5th. The Unicorns 9, the Beavers 3 on the USPBL Network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
It's 9-3 Unicorns here at the top of the 5th from Jimmy John's Field in downtown Utica on the USPBL Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been kind of snoozing in what's not quite a blowout yet, but it is a 6-run ball game between these two, it might be time to tune back in because what we believe is Harrison Aiken, as Jeremy mentioned last inning, the number issues we're having with the rosters today. Harrison Aiken, a newcomer to the USPBL out of the University of Mount Olive, is scheduled on the roster as number 44, but there were some miscommunications with the company that made these jerseys for the USPBL, and some numbers are not quite accurate. Number 14 is taking the mound. We've heard from some of our sources, Mike Zielinski from the USPBL, that is indeed Harrison Aiken. And Harrison Aiken, Jeremy, has a knuckleball. And this will be the first time we as broadcasters and you as fans and viewers will get to see it. What's in store with it? What can we expect with a knuckleball? I mean, we kind of look at the numbers from the first day. He had a couple hit batters, but a couple swings and misses too. But a lot of intrigue here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're not familiar with the knuckleball, it's the least amount of spin that you see as well on any pitch. As you might see one right here, actually. Maybe not. More of the fastball so far in this warm-up, but you saw one that Parkinson had trouble catching. He caught him the other day, I believe. And Aiken said he did a pretty good job. So, not an easy pitch to catch if you've never seen it before.
You can look it up on YouTube and on Twitter. There's montages of professional, veteran MLB catchers who struggle a lot with knuckleball pitchers. There's a few big-name knuckleball pitchers in the MLB. Not too many, though. It's a tough way to make a living as a pitcher in baseball, but when it's effective, man, is it effective.
There's been some fun guys to watch, certainly over the years. R.A. Dickey, the latest, won a Cy Young, actually throwing the knuckleball. Phil Necro, back in the day as well.
So facing the knuckle will be Whitfield, Stubbs, and Sullivan, 3-4-5 hitters for the Beavers, down by 6 runs here. First pitch, 78 miles an hour for Aiken, chopped to third. Whitfield trying to beat it out, and he's out by half a step on the throw from Lambert, 1 up, 1 down.
It's going to go anywhere from 75 to 81, just kind of depends on the situation, how it's feeling that day. He's going to throw it 90% of the time, though. It has a two-seam fastball that's only going to ride 83 to 85 and a slider from 75 to 78. But that's not uncommon on knuckleballers. You know, often their fastball will be, you know, slower than normal.
Now here's J.D. Stubbs. There it is. Ball 1. Stubbs, a single to end the inning in the third as Whitfield was caught out at home plate.
So that glove you see there is a glove that, for Parkinson, that is a softball glove, actually,
Yep.
that Aiken carries around with him and offers it to new catchers. Say, hey, if you want to use it, you can.
There's another one. That's through the hole on the right side of the infield, though, so Stubbs beats the knuckle and aboard with his second base hit today.
And he said, hey, you know, what he's found in his experience with that, he basically had a personal catcher in college, which isn't uncommon for guys that do, you know, things that aren't common. You get a good look at that glove right there. Sometimes they'll say, no, I'm all right, I'll just use my own glove. And then a couple pitches later, they say, nope, I'll use that glove now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see the big web on it. It looks wider than regular gloves. As Parkinson frames that one well for a strike to Sullivan. Stubbs not being held by Bolin at first. 1 on and 1 out. That one had a lot of dip to it. 75 below the zone for ball 1. Sullivan is one of those hitters that Vaughn Joshua talked about working on the timing with, using that step to hit, not step and hit. Nice pitch there. It's 75. Bates a swing and a miss from Sullivan.
Well, the common term is dance. And that's a good way to describe that baby right there.
Yeah. Dance, shake, jiggle. All good adjectives to describe that. The 1-2. Boy, that one gets past Parkinson. Stubbs will cruise to second. It was a foul tip by Sullivan. Barely caught the bat on it. Or did he not? That's a swing and a miss and a strike 3. Sounded like Sullivan caught the bat. Looked like he stood in for a second instead. That's a strikeout for Harrison Aiken.
Yeah, just tipped off the top of the glove, I think, of Parkinson.
Yep.
Aiken did throw an inning the other day.
It's his third professional strikeout in that inning the other day. Had 2. This one bounces off of Parkinson, and Stubbs will cruise over to third. Back-to-back wild pitches. Puts a man on third with 2 outs for Chris Davis. So the Beavers threatening to chip away here. They've left 6 on base today already. on their 7 hits. They're only 1 hit back of the Unicorns, but 6 runs. The 1-0 to Davis. Outside of the zone for strike 1. Davis ground out, fly out in the 2nd and 4th innings, 0 for 2. Swings on that one. Stubbs is going to come home. Another wild pitch, and a run will score. J.D. Stubbs gets around from 1st to 2nd to 3rd to home. All on wild pitches for the 4th run of the day for the Beavers.
It's just going to be that learning curve as well for any catcher he throws to at this level. If you've never seen it, as we've kind of discussed, not an easy one to catch, but
I think you got to go back to the fundamentals as a kid. See the ball into the glove and really hone in on that as a catcher. The 1-2 is a swing and a miss. Drop. Parkinson can't find it. It's under him. Davis running down to first. The throw is there. No. Bullen came off the bag a little bit too early. Davis hustling to beat it out. Does a nice job and reaches.
Next up for the Beavers, the shortstop, number 1, Luke Fenley.
That brings up the shortstop, Luke Fenley. And now a mound meeting between Parkinson and Aiken. That's what, the 4th wild pitch we've seen in the last 5 pitches?
Boy, and taking a look at that throw, I don't know.
It was a bang-bang play at first. I thought he was out.
You know, the finisher on it was, they said that Bullen was off the bag, but he was purposely kind of going from the second base side to the first base side because he wanted to make sure that, you know, Davis didn't run into him, and he was able to get that kind of floating throw.
First pitch to Fenley is in there for a called strike. Now the 0-1. Breaking ball in on the hands, no barrel, chop to Hodo, and he'll make the play for out number 3. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. The knuckleballer Harrison Aiken gets the job done with only 1 run coming across on a few wild pitches for J.D. Stubbs. That's the 4th run of the day for the Beavers. They still trail 9-4 to the Unicorns. Bottom of the 5th coming up when we come back.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
Zach Blankenship goes out for another inning of work for the Beavers. They need another inning just like the last one. Finally, a shorter inning, only 5 batters, no runs, 2 strikeouts for Blankenship in that last inning. And if the Beavers want any chance to come back in this one, the way their offense is, they're only slowly chipping away. They need to get some work done defensively. Blankenship did pitch in the non-public on Tuesday between these two teams. Went 2 innings, 3 hits, gave up 1 earned run, and had a strikeout as well. Hispanic Heritage Night's been a festive, fun night. A lot of good tunes we've heard tonight from the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union soundstage out there in right field. Attilis Hodo Galassi, 891 hitters due up for the Corns. Attilis got a much-needed hit, the first he's had in a while last inning. A single on a bouncer to left field through the infield. First pitch swinging fouled.
We saw 93 a couple times from Blankenship. That's his new career high, at least here at the professional level. He's hit 92 or just under 92, 91 point something many times so far this year.
The 0-1 to Attilis misses. And now the 1-1. Roped past the third baseman, Collette, out of his reach down the left field line. Attilis is going to go for two. This is going to be close. The throw hits Attilis as it goes past Page. So a leadoff double for Louis Attilis and the Unicorns.
Well, even for a guy who doesn't play third a whole lot, Collette nearly reacted to that one. I mean, that's all reaction. That's why they call it the hot corner down at the third base bag. The ball gets on you super quick. You're going to learn that pretty fast, and Attilis ends up with a single here in the fifth.
Someone we talked about pregame and on the air in his first at bat. An easy player to root for, Louis Attilis. Need to have a good day, and he's 2 for 3 today. 2 singles and a ground out, back-to-back singles. Brings up John Hodo, 0 for 1 with a walk. Outfield is shaded for Hodo to go the opposite way a little bit. That's Chris Davis out there in center, about 4 or 5 steps to the first base side of the second base bag. The ball 1 to Hodo. Inside, ball 2.
Lost a tick or two off the fastball, more like 90 on average here in the fifth, but pitch count also up to 34.
2-0. Slap the opposite way, hooking foul by a couple feet just past the outfield grass and onto the warning track for Hodo. 2-1. Blankenship only 8 innings pitched before today. He's working on his 3rd inning right now. You mentioned that pitch count, Jeremy. Should see it cap around 50 or so, depending on the situation. In danger of it spiking here. Man in scoring position, nobody out. 2-1, now 3-1 to Hodo. It's Attilis out there at second after the leadoff double.
These Unicorns have just found a way to get on base here today. Pesky.
Any way they can, the 3-1 in there, middle, strike 2. Hodo watched it go by. Will take the full count.
It's definitely cooled off a bit. You can feel the little bit of a breeze coming through.
I was just going to say the sun just starting to set here at Jimmy John's Field. It's scheduled for 9:12. We're 8 minutes away from official sunset. The payoff pitch to Hodo smacked foul down the first baseline.
Boy, it still says it's 87, though. We are going to dip down to 68 by night's end. It's going to kind of progressively get nicer and more mild as the weekend goes on.
You know what it is along with good baseball weather? Good golfing weather. Not unfortunately, I get to be here and spend my days at the baseball games as Blankenship couldn't come up with it on the payoff pitch, and he'll walk Hodo. Back-to-back hitters get on, and now top of the order, 2 on, nobody out. But yeah, it's been a while since I made it out there on the links, and I think I'm due for a round soon. I got a couple days coming up off in July.
Looks like Rodriguez is going to pinch hit here for Galassi.
Kenny Rodriguez, our first chance getting to see him in a fan game in the USPBO. So Galassi's day is done. Kind of a surprise. Maybe just rest for Galassi. That's Attilis dancing out there at second. First pitch swinging to Rodriguez, fouled back. Rodriguez, a native of Tampa, Florida, spent 2 seasons at Arkansas Little Rock before being a grad transfer at Weber International last season. Just finished up there. 65 games played, 65 games started for Weber in the NAIA. The 0-1. Fouled away again, 0-2. Rodriguez led, get this, Weber, his team, in average, OPS, hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage. He led Weber to their first ever appearance in the NAIA Baseball World Series.
Very nice.
So he's a good hitter. 316 total college career. He faces an 0-2, check to swing. Inside, did he go around? Appeal to the fielding umpire. They say no, ball 1.
And for those that don't know, there's certainly some good baseball in the NAI. I mean, it's not a surprise to see some of your top arms throw mid-90s.
He was in National College Baseball Writers Association All-American honorable mention. It's this one fly ball high to right field. Sullivan is there. He'll make the grab. Attilas thought about tagging from second to third. He will not. Both runners hold out number 1.
Next up, the first baseman, number 11, Malik Bowling.
Looks like we'll see at least one more inning for Aiken, the knuckleballer. We saw him strike out 2 in that 5th, despite the 1 reaching on the drop 3rd.
And now it's the first baseman, Bolin, up. 1 for 3 today. Single and a run scored in the 2nd. Had an RBI on that single as well. A good position to pick up another RBI here. Inside of the zone, coming across the plate for strike 1.
Haven't seen that slider as much here in the 5th inning. Very effective in the 4th, though, kind of cutting in on the hands of the righties.
Bolin, 7 RBIs this year on the upper echelon of the USPBL in that category. It's below the zone for a ball. Now 1-1 to Bolin. Attilas at second. John Hodo at first. Attilas reached on a single, Hodo on a walk. Smacked foul by Bolin, 1-2.
Probably will be the last couple batters here for Blankenship, so wouldn't be surprised to try to see him air it out a bit, try to get these 2 outs. 1 ground ball will do it, though, if he can coax it.
Yep. Beavers desperately need a no-run inning again from the Unicorns. Chopped foul by Bolin on the underside of the bat. The Unicorns have only not scored in 1 inning today, and that was last inning, the bottom of the 4th. And 1 run in the 1st, 4 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd. And totals 9 where we are right now. Now the 1-2. Fouled again. 3rd foul ball this at bat. 6th pitch on the way.
Blankenship is a decent candidate for a ground ball. 43% of his balls hit in play have been on the ground so far this year. You'd love it here in a game that's just kind of lurked around, you feel like, for the Beavers.
Big double play could spark some life into this team. 1-2 again. This one's chopped on the ground. There's 5, 4, 3. Double play. Just what the doctor ordered. No runs again for the Unicorns. The Beavers needed it, and now they need some offense as Jeremy Otto takes things over in the 6th when we come back on the USPBL Network.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit relyontryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Elevate your life on the road with a new Lincoln from Crest Lincoln. We're here to provide a purchase and ownership experience that's on your terms. We have new Lincolns arriving every day, or take advantage of ordering your Lincoln exactly how you'd like it, and you'll receive an additional $1,000 benefit towards that purchase or lease. We're celebrating 100 years of elevating the driving experience. Discover the possibilities at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights, or visit us today at crestlincoln.com.
Well, from a knuckleballer to a sidearmer, Keon Taylor takes over here in the 6th inning for the Unicorns.
Yeah, this Unicorns pitching staff has a plethora of weapons that are rather unconventional for hitters to see on the bump. Aiken, the obviously knuckleball addition, just bolsters that. We've seen Taylor be really fantastic this year, utilizing that sidearm. There's a lot of righty hitters in the USPBL, it's just there are in the world, and that's part of the reason Vaughn Joshua wanted to add the lefties, is to kind of combat a guy like this and other righties in the league as well. But Taylor's been really good this year. Still has yet to give up an earned run, 9 strikeouts, only 1 walk in 8 innings pitched, 2 wins, no losses. I mean, he's been very effective with that wide sidearm delivery.
Miles Watson, Marcus Page, Tyler Fraley. The scheduled 3 here in the 6th as the fastball pumped outside. 8 innings of work thus far for Keon Taylor. He's 2-0 in the win column through 5 appearances. 1 walk to 9 Ks thus far. Now the 1-0. Fastball outside, especially hard to pick up at night from what we're hearing from several coaches and players down there as well. The sidearmer Taylor.
Yeah, when it comes so far over, you're kind of getting in line with the scoreboard back there. It makes it really hard for hitters to pick up out of the hand, pick up the spin, maybe even the grip. Just another advantage. It's already hard enough, you know, against an awkward delivery like that. But when you add the fact that it's hard to see the ball out of the hand because of that delivery, an even bigger advantage.
2-1 in on the hands and foul. So it's a fastball, a sinker, slider, changeup combo. Changeup is new for him. You'll see that one coming around 79-80.
That slider has been a deadly pitch, especially to righties all year. We should see that.
Maybe it there, tough to tell.
Yeah. Should see it when we get a righty come up to the plate, though. It'll start behind the right-handed batter and land on the inner half of the plate.
So here's Marcus Page now. Hit by a pitch in the 4th. Reached on an error in the 3rd. It's actually Ramirez on deck for Fraley. That was the defensive change a couple innings ago. Fastball low. 1-1 on Page now. It's the second batter that Taylor has hit. Can be a bit tougher to command your pitches as well coming from this angle at times. 1-1, shifted foul, and for the hitter, especially a righty, it probably looks like it's going to hit you every time.
Yeah, there's that slider that we were just talking about that looks like it's going to hit you, you know, on the bosom or right on the back if you turn, and somehow it just finds its way right into the zone.
Here's the 1-2. Did he pull the string on the slider? He did not, says the appeal.
It was close. That's the advantage that someone like Taylor has, you know, with the slider and how tough it is to hit. from a righty's perspective, you kind of expect him to stay inside of it just because it's so hard to hit, but then you can kind of.
Oh, see you later, Marcus Page with the K here in the 6th, the 3rd K in the last 2 innings for this Beavers offense.
He got him with the fastball there, but what I was going to say is you can kind of use that slider to go inside and set up a low and away slider that locks the knees of a lot of these hitters, and they just watch it sail by for a strike. I think that's what Taylor did on that last pitch that he checked his swing on.
First pitch to Ramirez, high and skied away. He did have an at-bat back in the 4th, his first of the game after taking over defensively. RBI single. Fraley today was 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. Second year as a pro for Keon. Pitched here and then a little bit for Joliet in the Frontier League after he was traded for Tyler Blom. 24 appearances for Joliet as well. Now the 0-1, shuttered on the ground to Hodo, feeds to nobody there as it's bobbled into right. An error with 1 out here in the 6th.
Yet again, we see a tough defensive play. That's a little bit awkward. Hodo's bounding to his left. The ball takes kind of a bigger hop than you would expect for its 2nd or 3rd hop, and it's right in there on the hands. Tough play to make, should be made. It's going to be an error, but not an easy one.
Cam Collette now, 4th at bat today. Pair of strikeouts and an RBI double back in the 3rd. Looked a little mystified against Fiorito in the 4th in his at bat for whatever reason. First pitch fouled off, the slider there that hung over. So Keon's been throwing from this angle ever since his sophomore year of junior college. Kind of tinkered with it a bit his freshman year and then committed full time to this low submarine sidearm, whatever you want to call it. 0-1, fastball in there for strike 2.
Well, I am glad he did because it's fun to watch.
And he says, hey, at this point, it just feels like the more natural way to throw for him.
It does. Like, you know, you mess around with your friends out there, backyard, barbecue, parking lots, whatever. I've done it with the sidearm, and it's fun to do, especially if you can kind of throw it relatively straight. It feels cool.
0-2, fastball away, 1-2 on Collette now. Jeremy Idle alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here tonight from downtown Utica, Michigan. Glad you could tune in today on the USPBL network. Here's the 1-2 with the infielder slightly in. Swing and a miss. The fastball knuckling away for his 2nd strikeout already here in the 6th.
Not surprised. We see another appearance and another multi-strikeout game from Keon Taylor. It's just what he does. He gets a lot of swings and misses with his repertoire.
So that's now 1 walk to 11 Ks through 8 2/3 innings.
Pretty good ratio and rates on both of those.
Swing and a miss there. Just 1 walk to 6 strikeouts. He did hit 4 batters last year in the USPBL. When he went over to the Frontier, was 12 walks to 37 Ks and 7 hit batters through 36 innings.
Obviously, right now, the 1-to-11 ratio are the best his numbers have been, but clearly they have been getting better, and it appears they are sustainable. And it kind of feels that way, too. It feels like this is something he can keep up. 2 or 3 innings a game, 2 or 3 nights a week, and go out there, throw 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. It seems like it's something I could expect Keon Taylor to do all year.
Now the 0-2. Fastball away, 1-2 on Eric Whitfield. Doubled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. Was thrown out at the plate after rounding the 3rd base bag. Kind of a in-between play, but a good throw by Castro right to Parkinson, and it was an easy tag in the end. Wow. Trying to fight off a fastball with some major movement on it in itself. He strikes out the side Here in the 6th inning, the only base runners, a hit by pitch and an error.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Galindo is the third pitcher used here today for the Beavers as we head to the 6th inning. Noah Childress, Ari Sakopoulos, and Leandy Castro, the scheduled batters for the Unicorns, who have a commanding lead on this game. For Galindo, features a fastball, a curveball, a changeup over the top, and if he chooses to go 3/4, that's a fastball, slider, changeup as well. So difference between the curve and the slider in between the arsenals.
Galindo, someone who we didn't get to see a lot at the start of the year. He's now worked himself up to 7 innings and 4 appearances. 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Looking for that big setup relief day for him. Not quite in a setup situation today, but you know, we've seen various pitchers have really good days and really average days, and I think we're waiting for Jesse Galindo to kind of have that breakout day that it feels like he has inside of him. He just hasn't quite brought it out for all of us to see yet. You know, that 4 innings, 50 pitches, 4 strikeouts kind of day. It was a tough lineup to do it against, but you never know.
Now batting for the Unicorns for Noah Childress, number 9, Adam De La Cruz.
So Adam De La Cruz will get in at bat here for Childress. First pitch, swing and a miss. Now the 1-1. Slider over the plate, but foul.
One thing we talked about in the pregame with Mike Zielinski is what the Unicorns are going to do with only one true catcher now. It turns out Adam De La Cruz, he's listed as a utility, so this kind of makes sense. He'll be kind of an emergency catcher if anything were to happen to Parkinson. He wasn't able to hold his duties back there.
That one in there for strike 3. So 1 up and 1 down here in the 6th. Here's Ari Sakopoulos now. Pair of walks for Ari and a line out to left field back in the 2nd. First pitch curveball off the glove of Watson here today. One of the new catchers picked up in the showcase the other day on Sunday. Pretty quick turnaround for a lot of these guys. In some cases, they made the team on Sunday and then were skirted right into action on Tuesday.
Yeah.
2-0, fly ball to left. Ramirez couldn't find it at first, still trying to locate it. And that one's over his head and gone. Well, we're a bit lower than most baseball press boxes are. So, to be honest, we rely quite a bit on the outfielders to locate it off the bat at least. And
well, I thought when he first hit it, whoa, might be gone. And then I see Ramirez, and that's usually what you do. You watch the ball kind of fly up, then you don't pay attention. You look at the outfielder, you see where he is. Oh, he's in front of the warning track. This is just a flyout. That's weird. Ball's been kind of weird today, and sure enough, he's looking, can't find it. It just drops behind his head.
Home run number 4 of the year for Ari Sakopoulos as the fastball slung in for strike 1. 6th inning today, brought to you by Jarbcom. We thank Jarbcom Audio and Video Solutions for their sponsorship of the USPBL. 0-1, curveball low. 1-1 now on Leandy Castro. Pair of singles for him here today. But how about these Unicorns? 10 runs on the board. Continue to hit the ball well. 248 as a team coming into play. Collette charges, fires to first. Nice slinging motion for the second out.
Yeah, this Unicorns team is in danger of creating a personal best here. I think their highest run scored this year so far in a game is 13, 12, around there. $13.
First pitch breaking ball dips in for strike 1. There's strike 2. Galindo pounding the strike zone.
He's really filled it up, obviously, despite the Sakopoulos home run. It's been a good inning from Galindo.
Now the 0-2. Poked it to right. Sullivan under that for the 3rd out here in the 6th inning. Clean inning for Galindo despite the home run to left. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Keon Taylor back on for the 7th inning as they face 4, 5, 6 in this lineup for the Beavers. J.D. Stubbs. And now that will be McFadden in the 5-hole. We noticed after he made that catch that was actually McFadden in right and not Sullivan. Chris Davis. Everything remains the same here in the 7th.
Seen a lot of substitutions today. Comes with the territory of a bunch of new guys being added.
Fastball at 85 outside. 7th inning brought to you by Valpak here today.
Been impressed with this guy.
Fly ball to left field, carrying Sakopoulos to the line for out number 1. Certainly has a calm demeanor about him.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He doesn't look like he even cares that it's pro baseball. Obviously, that's not the case, but doesn't have any jitters, it seems like. No worries. Went 2 for 4 so far, 2 singles, scored a run. He's had some nice, smooth swings. A lot of times you can see guys get happy feet in the batter's box a little bit. Doesn't seem to have that. Stubbs just looks like a experienced hitter.
First pitch to McFadden high. So the first at bat for McFadden on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Actually played with the Mammoths yesterday, but traded over here because of need. Actually looking at becoming a catcher potentially. Caught a little bit prior to the USPBL, but not too much.
Yes, the last time he did a full game was when he was 17 years old.
He's been working on a few adjustments with Vaughn Joshua in terms of his hitting. And Vaughn impressed thus far, kind of a sponge, soak it up.
He's a really avid note taker and kind of student of the game of baseball, trying to get better every single day, just making one little step to get better.
Stood him straight up there, and that's a 4-pitch walk for Keon Taylor. So he's hit a batter and now walked a batter.
You talked about the need, too, that McFadden, that's the reason he was traded over to the Beavers. Well, they need power and they need hitting, and McFadden kind of brings all of those and an ability to play anywhere in the field, essentially. He said he's comfortable playing any position that'll help the team win. That's pretty good.
First pitch to Chris Davis. In there for strike one, still looking for his first professional hit.
He's had a few hard hit balls today.
0 for 6 to this point with a pair of Ks today. 0-1 hits another hard right at Hodo. Feeds to first, not in time though. There's 2 outs in the top of the 7th now.
Sometimes that's the issue. You just got to hit them where they ain't. Hasn't been able to do it today.
Check some scores around Major League Baseball here today. Philadelphia all over Washington. That's 10-1.
Philadelphia, the Phillies have been playing well lately.
They have, yeah, ever since they fired their manager.
I guess that's, if that's the case, maybe they were right. don't often see too many mid-season managerial firings work out.
Yeah, we've had a couple this year.
Hasn't quite worked out yet for the Angels, yeah.
Anaheim got fired as well. Wheeler with a nice game thus far for Philadelphia. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 3 Ks. 0-1, fastball off the plate inside, 1-1 now. Tampa Bay and New York deadlocked at 1. New York looking for a sweep there. That's all the way in the 9th, top of the 9th inning.
Rays are a pesky team in the AL.
They went with an opener here today as this one lifted foul down the first base line. New York Mets and Milwaukee tied at 4. Canha with a home run, his 5th of the year for the Mets here today. Now the 1-2. Right to Bolin. Easy 3 unassisted to strand the 1-out walk for Taylor here in the 7th inning. A solid 2 innings out of the pen for the sidearmer Keon Taylor. Continues rolling here this season. Well, time for your Genesis Credit Union or Michigan Orthopedic Specialist 7th inning stretch here today. You ready again?
Of course.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, oh wow,
Trace
at the old ball game. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. That That was a curveball. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Well, James Crick, the fourth pitcher used here for the Beavers. Normally their closer, but just needing some work here today, which isn't rare in the USPBL to see a guy come up even in an uneven game. At this point, here in the 7th inning, it's 10-4 Unicorns. The Crick has been a fun guy to watch this year.
He really has. He's had fantastic velocity. His numbers jump off the page. He's primarily been a one-inning guy in every game that he's played for the Beavers this year. 4 innings pitched in 4 appearances, so that checks out. But we might see him a little bit longer today. We're kind of getting close to the time limit here. First pitch was around 7:05. It's, now pushing up on 9:40. So maybe Crick comes in and this is, only 1 inning that we see before the time limit, or maybe we'll get 2 in. But yeah, he's a very fun guy to watch. Still has yet to give up a run of any capacity, let alone an earned run. No walks yet, either 4 strikeouts.
Leading off for the Unicorns, the catcher, number 23, Matt Parkinson.
Matt Parkinson, Louis Tillis, John Hodo, your scheduled 3 at 7, 8, 9. Jim Essian's order here today. Ten hits on the board for these Unicorns to match their 10 runs. First pitch by Crick, a fastball at 92 outside. No walks to 7 strikeouts to this point through 6 innings of work for James Crick. Now the 1-0. Launched into right field, a base hit over the leaping glove of Stubbs.
Oh. Good throw by McFadden. Looked like Parkinson might go for 2 there. I thought that was a gutsy call. Did a nice job to pull up and change his mind. Not going to see that too often. James Crick give up a leadoff single. We'll see him probably not get below 92 at that fastball velocity. Mitch Akers says he wants him to just pop 195 before this year's over. He wants them to do it sooner rather than later, obviously.
Wouldn't be a surprise. Wind picks up a bit now to right center field. You really see those trees go. It's gotten a little bit cooler. I mean, I'm not sure it feels like what it actually is in terms of the temperature.
Right. It feels like I need a jacket is what it feels like.
It's just in your mind now.
Yeah.
A week ago, you wouldn't have said that if it was this temperature.
No, you're right.
Parkinson dives back. Well, full week of baseball. We encourage you to come out. USPBL.com for tickets. You can certainly buy them at the box office, but if you're coming here tomorrow, in general, it's a good idea to get them ahead of time on a Friday, usually one of the more packed days. We'll also have our first doubleheader on Classic Rock Night on Saturday as well. 2 6-inning games with the first pitch at 5:30. Gates open at 4:30. Live music presented by the Jamie Daniels Foundation. 1-1. Fastball low. 2-1 on Attilis now. American Ages Band will be back on Saturday. Sunday is Father's Day, June 19th. You can celebrate Dad at the ballpark with a Father's Day 4-pack. $80, which includes 4 grandstand tickets for hot dogs, 4 soft drinks or water, and 1 dad hat. As Attilis chops this one foul. Additional tickets can also be purchased by calling the box office. Additional hats can also be purchased for $15. Now the 2-2. Slammed foul.
Tillis battling here. Doing a good job hanging in there with 2 strikes. Crick likes to attack hitters.
When Blankenship, Galindo, and Crick in relief of Sandness here today, each of them showing flashes of some pretty good ball today. Now waiting on the even pitch here. On the ground and past Stubbs as he was holding on Parkinson. First and second to begin this 6th inning, or 7th inning, I beg your pardon.
Well, a 3-hit day for Louis Attilis, much needed. And Jeremy, you can tell the viewers, I said we need Louis Attilis to go 3 for 4 today. Look at that. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, 1 for 21 coming into this game here today. Now 4 hits on the year.
That'll boost the average a little bit.
Hodo is yet to get a hit, although he's been hit and walked in 3 at-bats. Strike 1 at 90. Tomorrow, in addition to the fireworks, you can also meet your favorite diamond hopper. Players will be available from 6 to 6:20 in front of the TLC Clubhouse. The restaurant area right in front of the couple main gates here at the ballpark. 0-1, going to circle foul down the first base line.
A lot of fun to get to meet some of these players. For us, I'm sure it is for kids as well, but for us, I've had a fantastic time developing relationships with these guys and talking to them when we see them on their off days, whether they're working on the stadium staff or here before games. A lot of great people in this league, great charismatic players, fun to talk to, give good insight, good baseball information, funny guys.
Two blocked away by Watson there. So Watson will head out. Not the sharpest we've seen Crick to start a ball game thus far.
Yeah. Not sure what it is. I think sometimes when there's less energy, it's hard to bring your best stuff coming into a situation like this. Down by 6 runs. Other team kind of beating up on you. It's hard to be totally motivated and into it like that.
Now the 1-2, slider hung up there. Fly ball to right, McFadden cuts it off. That'll be the first out here in the 7th after the pair of leadoff singles.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, too, you just kind of naturally feed off the adrenaline and nerves of a close game. Some guys, you know, struggle with butterflies and the pressure of nerves, and other guys can feed off of it. I think Crick is one of those guys who eats it and uses it to be better, and blow out like this, it's not as easy to do so. There's less natural energy there for you.
Rodriguez still looking for his first pro hit. Looks at a fastball at 92, in for strike 1. Checked his swing on the slider. Did he go? He did.
Did he? Oh, yeah.
0-2. Quickly 0-2, hasn't gotten to that much so far here in the 7th. Pumped off the high screen and back down. So we'll be on the air tomorrow at 6:45 once again with a 7:05 start. Wazinski starting for the Diamond Hoppers. They have a deep, deep arsenal of pitchers all of a sudden. Some guys that won't start that could, definitely.
And Wazinski is the guy, put a star next to his name, someone you want to see when he's going to start. He's looked good in a few appearances. Tall drink of water, 6'8", out of Oakland University, just joined the USPBL a couple weeks ago.
Another 1-2, line drive to left. Ramirez coming in, diving, picked up that baseball for the second out here in the 7th.
Good little kind of redemption play for Ramirez after he lost what would be Sakopoulos' home run. Not that he would have been able to make a play on Sakopoulos' home run, but you never want to be out there caught losing a ball. And nice little falling forward catch. Sometimes those balls are tough to gauge, especially in the night sky, and he judged it well.
Looked like he might have jammed his finger there in the process as well.
Maybe just a shirt adjustment. I do see him kind of wincing with that hand, though, yeah.
He kind of had that glove off in between the out in this pitch here as the breaking ball pounds in for ball 1. I think Crick wanted that one. We talked about Wazinski. 6 innings for him thus far, just 3 hits given up. A walk and 5 Ks through 2 appearances, 1 start. He'll make his 2nd tomorrow.
We'll face this Unicorn squad who he faced in his first start in the non-public games.
Back-to-back sliders there. Now it's 1-1. Adam De La Cruz waits on deck. He pinched hit for Childress back in the 6th. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Slider there. We've had 3 home runs in this game. 3 very odd home runs for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Didn't think the one from Childress had a chance, but it got carried off the wind in right field. Galassi hit one pretty well, but didn't really think it would have a chance either to carry the scoreboard in left center, but it did. And then the one previously, the most recent one, over the head of everybody when we expected it to maybe be just a fly out to left. So Crick, after a couple of singles to begin the 7th inning, strikes out Bolin. Still standing at 10-4 score.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Brian Camacho trying to close out this game. This will be the last half inning unless the Beavers can rally back for 6. Here in the 8th, they'll have Miles Watson, Marcus Page, and Ramirez, the scheduled hitters here. And Brian Camacho, the 4th arm used, or make that the 5th, by Jim Essian here today. A guy who hit 95 5 times the other day in a non-public on Tuesday, so looking forward to seeing what he does today.
Yeah, Camacho's looked good this year. 3 ERA in 5 appearances, 11 strikeouts to just 3 walks. Had 1 inning pitched on Saturday against this Beavers team and had 3 strikeouts in 1 inning. So he's been kind of a fire shooter coming out of the bullpen, really explosive. Usually more of a setup guy, getting the close opportunity today.
9 total Ks for the Beavers offense thus far. Camacho looking to add a few more. First pitch, 93, and by him.
Quickly by him, wow. At 93, that ball just gets into the zone so much more quickly than anybody else we really see in the league. Not very many guys come out and throw 93 like that.
Now the 0-1. Fastball at 95 again is high. So 95 isn't a rarity necessarily for Camacho. He hit that at certain times in his 22 campaign with Fairmont State. One high, 2-1 now. Fairmont State at Division II. Played some JUCO ball in Illinois, and also spent his sophomore and junior year at Point Park in Pittsburgh. It's a really nice campus they have there, right in the heart of the city. Here's a 2-1 on Watson. Fastball low at 94.
Well, given that Camacho is fastball slider, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a fastball coming.
I think so.
Never want to allow a leadoff walk, no matter the size of your lead.
Now the 3-1. Fastball is high, and he does allow the leadoff walk here in the 8th. Does have a curveball, but very rare that he uses it, especially out of the bullpen. Working on a cutter as well.
Cutter's a dangerous pitch for a guy like Camacho to have. If he can have a fastball, which is what a cutter is, with a lot more movement than your regular 4-2 seam and more unpredictable movement that's in the upper 80s, mid 80s, that could be a nice addition to this basically 2-pitch mix that he has right now.
From the slide step, 92 by Marcus Page. Camacho, the native of Puerto Rico. Ready and ready matchup here in the bottom of the order for the Beavers. The 0-1. Low. Let's recheck that. Unicorns defense, it's remained the same for the most part, with the exception of De La Cruz now being in center. Sakopoulos in left, Castro's in right. Lambert and Bolden on the corners. Hodo and Attilas up the middle, with Parkinson catching the pitches here today. 1-1, swing and a miss. I think we saw a little bit more of a sharper Harrison Aiken here today as well, a knuckleballer. And it's going to be a work in progress for him and Parkinson. Maybe a few side sessions will work out what that knuckleball actually looks like. Parkinson not able to catch a few of those pitches, one leading to a run, but it's a work in progress. Slider away, 2-2 on Page now.
I want to say if I'm Marcus Page, you got to make Brian Camacho attack you here, but there's so little time for pitch recognition with this guy.
2-2 off the end of the bat and foul. Some other scores have gone final in the major leagues. New York able to beat Tampa Bay 2-1. They advanced to 47-16. The Guardians over Colorado 4-2. Baltimore all over Toronto today 10-2. That's a Baltimore team that's certainly probably not able to compete in that division, but more wins, I think, than people thought.
That's a bit of a surprise, that score, too, against Toronto. A very good team.
Their 28th win of the year. Oakland with a 4-3 win over Boston as well. Big shout out to Jesse Goldberg-Strasser, the longtime voice of the Lansing Lugnuts, not too far away here from Metro Detroit, making his major league debut in that series for the Oakland A's. Lansing was once a Blue Jays affiliate, actually, now shifting to the A's in the last couple of years when everything reshuffled.
I got to meet Jesse, courtesy of your connection with him the last time I was at a Lugnuts game. Very nice guy. Was nice enough to welcome me up into the booth, a fellow aspiring broadcaster. During the middle of the game in the 7th inning, I got to sit in, and he showed me his notes, and I got to sit in for a half inning, listen to him and his partner, Adam, do a half inning of Lugnuts baseball. They won that day, too, over the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, who are a very good minor league organization.
0-1, swing and a miss, fastball at 92 by Ramirez there. He reached on an error in the 6th, singled and scored a run back in the 4th as well. Oh, 2 tipped into the glove for strike 3. So 2 down, and Cam Collette now the last shot here. It's a cool thing that Oakland has done, though, with their broadcaster. They knew one of their regulars would miss, so they called up some of their other minor league guys on this most recent trip.
Yeah, not too many major league organizations and affiliate TV and radio stations will do that. And it's kind of cool. You know, these guys are minor league announcers, and those players get called up to play in the big leagues. And then for the A's, at least, those announcers get called up every so often to play in the big leagues. It's pretty cool. Not something you see too often.
0-1 slider in for strike 2. Jesse certainly has earned his time, but Bob Hartz has as well. He was the Double-A broadcaster for the Midland Rockhounds, their Double-A affiliate, for 31 years. Got called up to the bigs just a couple weeks ago.
31 years. That's a long time.
Sure is. And not even holding on, Watson here as that fastball rides high. With 2 outs, 2 strikes on Collette.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if we saw a pickoff throw from Camacho right now.
Now the 1-2. Just able to get a piece. Lambert charges, throws to first. Just nips Collette over at first base, and that will end this game via time limit here today. Unicorns got a little luck, hit some big-time home runs, and got some good pitching down the stretch from Aiken, Taylor, and Camacho to seal off this game. We'll have the postgame when we get back on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
How How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
While credit cards help pay for everyday expenses, carrying a balance each month can be tough on your budget. Since interest rates compound daily, the amount you owe gets bigger and bigger each day the balance goes unpaid. A Green Path debt management program helps you regain control of your finances by lowering credit card interest rates, reducing your monthly payments, stopping late fees, improving overall financial health, paying off credit card debt in 5 years or less. Our caring certified counselors work with you to understand your financial picture and support you on the steps to get control of high-interest debt and achieve financial health. Call 844-572-5921 and get control of high-interest credit card debt today.
Back here at Jimmy John's Field with our USPBL Network's player of the game, Ari Sakopoulos. Ari, 2 walks, a home run in 4 plate appearances today. You guys pick up another win. You guys are rolling now, 8-1 on the year. You've had a spectacular year so far yourself. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs now. I believe that's top on your team. I believe that's top in the league. You're really seeing the ball well this season early on.
Yeah, just a lot of hard work during the midweeks when we're not playing. Just being consistent with it. You're putting in a lot of work in the offseason. It's just good to see it pay off, but trying to keep it rolling, keep getting some wins, but let's just keep it rolling.
And your home run today, a bomb to left field. Eric Ramirez, the left fielder, kind of lost it in the lights. What did you see in that pitch before, though?
I mean, it was a curveball out, and then I knew he always works me away, so I was trying to go that way. And I hit it well, and then when I saw Eric camped underneath, I'm like, there's no way that's staying in the park. And then thankfully it went over his head, but I thought for sure he just camped underneath it, but thankfully it went over.
Well, I think it fooled a lot of us, me included. I thought the same thing as you. It looked like it had the velocity of a home run off the bat, and then he was camped in front of the warning track. But nonetheless, a home run, another win for you guys, as we mentioned, 8-1 on the year. 10-4, the Unicorns beat the Beavers. We'll see them and the Hoppers tomorrow at 7:05. We're live at 6:45. For Jeremy Otto, I'm Brendan Shabat. Thank you for tuning in to the USPBL Network.